thing. You got up and walked
Yeah,
down.
yeah, that's
And
right.
I had to talk solo, you know, for like 7 minutes.
And we were, and they also used those clips of us as well, and we somehow managed to get back into our chairs at the same time.
Had to put on an Aussie accent.
Yeah, no, you're pretty good at it though. You know, it's the colonial thing.
I've been working on it.
Being an Englishman and stuff like that. We all came from you guys. All right, the Aurora going to be the first one banned away, and Yunara, they're going to be the follow-up. This does feel like some setup towards the Rumble, as we have been seeing, but I'm just hoping that this is not going to be a normal draft. This is going to be some DK weirdness. Maybe they've realized that all they have to do is go back to the LCK Cup.
Just cook.
You know, and that is what they did. They embraced Fearless, and since then, the fear has crept back.
They've been a little afraid, you know.
Yeah.
The fear is mounted, and we haven't seen the same freedom to just go a little bit crazy.
Yep.
No jungle ban, I guess the Poppy. But other than that, you know, Wukong's still open and available, Pantheon's still open and available, Vara's still open and available. A lot of these pretty high value picks still on the cards. So we'll see what DRX up to take away here.
I think the Pantheon is definitely the biggest worry in my mind.
The thing is, if you ban the Pantheon, they just take the Wukong.
Yeah.
So maybe they ban the Gwen here, and then D+, you either take the Rumble or you take the Pantheon. If you take the Pantheon, they go like Rumble Wukong, you know, which the Pantheon's really strong, don't get me wrong, but you can get like the best top lane choice, and you can get a good jungle choice.
I'm still expecting Pantheon. I think that champion is kind of ridiculous.
I think so too. It's what we'd typically expect.
There isn't a Talia this time, which we did see find a lot of value.
Yeah.
But I still think, oh, never mind.
Okay, they go the Wukong instead, so valuing that higher.
That is kind of crazy, because now you've got Pantheon Rumble that DRX can play.
Yep. Can just pick that up.
Oh, wait. This is the Rise group. I forgot. We're in the realm of culture.
Oh, the Wukong Annie.
Rakan.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, it's going to be denied?
Deny the Annie from the Wukong, the winning combo.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I guess you don't have to...
like, it's like we thought 5 head was like, this is like 11 head.
I mean, you don't have to take the Pantheon right now is the thing. Unless you... Oh, what Beryl takes Pantheon support as a denial?
Yeah, don't let that... Oh, never mind. All right, so the Rumble is going to be locked away.
This is on theme for burning the opponents. But yeah, a lot of damage, a lot of setup. If you pair this with the Pantheon, you'll be in a great spot. Now for D+, what are you specifically going to take into the Annie is the question. And what are your top lane options into the Rumble?
Yeah,
we saw the Ornn earlier, which didn't inspire huge amounts of joy.
Oh god, well, we are going to potentially see it again.
Hopefully a better performance than Kingen had. Obviously, it gets to a point where you just build Kainic Rukia and you don't take damage, but the early levels, a little bit tough, especially with the buffs that Rumble has had.
And sometimes you just never get to a point of relevance, unfortunately, as there is the Orianna Wukong to come through here.
We literally just saw, we saw this earlier today.
Yeah, this is actually just the same. And the Pantheon is obviously going to be picked up here, because it is just the most ridiculous jungler on the patch at this point in time. Wukong not too far behind, as we know. So that's why DK were happy to trade it.
I think what's elevated them more is that a bunch of the other AD junglers got nerfed to this patch. And Pantheon did get that jungle nerf last patch, I think it was. But it wasn't that significant. But like these two didn't get touched on this patch. Everything else got brought down and they're kind of elevated as a result. So
wait, so we need Sivir Alistar, don't we? And then we actually just get to redo Wusa.
Yeah, Rakan gonna get taken away. I'm not sure they'll let them get the Alistar in this situation.
Perhaps not, but maybe everyone just needs a little bit of Wusa. So far we've got ARP, which is pretty cool, out of DRX.
Yeah.
To go with the acronyms, I know that's kind of a theme for today. We're allowed to have some themes for each of our days. Acronyms is going to be the theme of today. If you don't like it, sorry. Nico is going to be the final ban here, as the Rakan was also taken away, as you mentioned before. That Alistar you were talking about, still up and available, and it can obviously snap it up on R4, or DK can ban it away if they would like to not see it.
I mean, it puts in a really good spot, right? A lot of the engaged support's been taken away. I feel like if you go Rel as D+ into the Alistar feels really good. You can't really take the Nico. I mean, the Nico's gone, obviously, to punish it, so they will just ban the Alistar.
Okay.
In terms of supports, I think you could just take 80 carry and leave it till counter pick if there's an 80 carry you really want prio on. But they're just going to take the rel in this situation.
Don't know whether I'm like hugely inspired by the rel. As far as that pickup, I don't think Andal is either. Having a look at his facial expression at the moment, it's putting him to sleep just a little bit here. But it is currently what Teddy is going to be locking in. So there it goes. What will the answer be from DK?
Do they go like Jin Bard?
Jinx Janna for the Wooj. That's what I want. I want some Wooj.
Civic Karma is also sort of the stuff that Barrel's been playing a lot of Karma.
Yeah, true.
They could just take, you know, there's like...
Oh?
They are looking at the... either the Jin or the Corki.
Well, will be the Corki locked in.
And then support. You could go Poppy, actually. Poppy would be decent here. For like into the rel. I think Poppy is fine. I think Bard is fine. Could also go, I guess, Nautilus is the other option.
Yeah, it depends whether they feel like they need more engage. With the Ornn there, I don't necessarily feel like you do.
I think you could. They opt to go for the Leona, though.
Wookle.
Wookle.
Wookle ain't bad. I kind of like it. Sounds cute. And Beryl has a skin for this champion that he never uses, so that's kind of funny as well. So they are going to lock away the Leona. And what is Teddy playing today? That's a Kai'Sa angle. Yeah, I was thinking that it should just be a Kai'Sa angle. Teddy is another one of our players with a Kai'Sa license. I think that, you know, Viper and Ruler obviously in the Legend group are our Kai'Sa players. Diablo down here in Rise certainly has his license, but Teddy as well. He was, especially last year, was looking absolutely fantastic on this champion. So I kind of like what DRX have put together. There is a lot of firepower in this comp.
Literally. Yeah, a lot of power. You know, the mid jungle, the Annie, Pantheon, really strong. A lot of setup onto the Orianna, who you can look to punish. The Rumble's going to have a great time early on. Kai'Sa, Rel, just great power in terms of the team fights. If you get on top of that Orianna and just explode Showmaker or aiming, like you're in a great spot. If you do start to fall behind, though, that can be a bit of concern. Because obviously the Annie can sometimes feel underwhelming when she's behind. The Orianna Corki scale it quite well. And also the ornaments can be handed out, so...
And DK's ability to turn is kind of absurd.
Yeah.
With the fact that almost everyone has opportunities to do so, and in the meantime, aiming can self-peel pretty effectively with things like the Valkyrie. So
I think when you have...
Oh no, SpongeBob eating a teeny pink thingy! Oh my god, it's so good.
It's dramatic.
The fan signs have just gotten to like a level that I can't even really comprehend. And it just looks so sad, and SpongeBob looks so unhinged. Oh man, it was so good.
That. It's not okay.
Oh, so incredibly good. All right, well, I'm now in an incredibly good mood.
You're already good?
Getting ready for game number 1 for some great League of Legends. Let's do it. All right, we do have an update. Obviously, there were a couple of extra champions locked in, and while it started with ARP, which sounded like it had potential, we ended up with Arpruk, which just doesn't really make me feel too happy in comparison to Wookle. Which is just great, man. I want that to have a meaning.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a baby Wookiee.
Yeah, a little Wookle. Yeah. Oh, it's adorable.
You know, if you had like Baby Yoda, but you had like a Wookiee version, it'd be a
Honestly, you should probably let Disney know that's the next revival of Star Wars that they should go for. Andor Season 2, absolutely incredible. The only way to carry that forward is with some Wookle. Yeah. Actually, no. Just do Season 3 of Andor or something like that. It's actually impossible because that's just Rogue One, isn't it? So never mind. You can't do Season 3 of Andor. Just like try and figure something else out that's also just as cool. That's all we need.
And has a Wookle.
And a Wookle. Wookle needs to be involved. And we're fine. We didn't need to be workshopping this though because we got some video games ahead of us as Andal and Teddy going to take position against aiming and Beryl right here. Corki and Leona is actually a fair bit of power. There's a flash forward from Beryl. No flash and a Zenith Blade to come on through, but he lands back-to-back Shields of Daybreak onto Teddy.
honestly, kind of respect it. I was gonna say unlock the Hex Flash. He ain't even running Hex Flash.
Nope.
That's just, he's just going raw, you know?
He's gonna take a turret shot. And look, if there's anything that you should take away from this, is just admiration for the ludicrous amount of confidence here from Beryl. I don't think it was a good idea.
No.
He's level 2, doesn't have Eclipse.
Yeah, the thing is, the initial decision, I was like, okay, unlocks Hex Flash, he burns Cleanse. It's kind of hard to be proactive when you don't have Cleanse against the Kai'Sa. But didn't have Hex Flash, then took the tower hit. But they got prio, they forced up. Nice W though from Teddy to stop the recall.
Yep. Will mean that Aiming and Beryl are going to be, okay, never mind. Not going to be coordinated as Andal doesn't even see that Beryl was going home. Very, very close.
Beryl will heal up and comes back with a refillable potion and a control ward.
My goodness!
That value, that tempo reset.
Just insane.
Not to be mistaken for tempo vibes.
Yeah, no. There are, like, the Rise group, this is where the tempo vibes are much harder to decipher.
Yeah.
We don't quite know where they are. It is a game-by-game basis that we will discover where these tempo vibes are at. Right now, it is feeling like everything is relatively neutral, but I always get worried when there is a Pantheon on the Rift, as Andal is just testing the aim, and it's not going well. As Beryl is just going to stun him up. Teddy taking a fair bit of damage back, is aiming with that Gatling gun, getting to work. But I hope that calibrated for Andal there, and so the next time the Shattering Strike combo comes in, it's going to work out a bit better, as Sponge is going to be able to land here. Is Beryl going to try and see what he can do here as he turns it onto Teddy? Beryl is likely still going to be dead, as Sponge misses! And the Shield of Daybreak actually stuns him up. Still, he's going to die, but honestly, I'm still even more impressed by Beryl.
It was a little goofy. That looked like certain death for Beryl. Flashless in that situation. The jungler's there. It's a point-and-click stun. Somehow Teddy loses his flash in the mad panic that came after. And actually, it's not super meaningful. It is obviously a first kill, right? It's a good amount of gold for Sponge. But because Aiming's not the one who dies, and no extra summoners are burnt, I believe, for D+, and Aiming is still there to pick up farm.
Having the eye for that turn is actually just kind of insane.
Yeah.
Because, like, Beryl could have just flashed onto the turret and they would have been fine, actually.
Yeah, so in terms of the actual lane dynamics, if you look, Aiming's a bit ahead in terms of farm. Obviously, Teddy's going to be able to pick up a bit up now, but he's going to be behind on tempo when Aiming swaps top. Teddy's down in flash. So for the 2v2, D+ actually came out ahead on the back of that play. It's only Sponge who really benefited on the side of DRX. So,
kind of ridiculous. And I actually told a lie. Beryl couldn't have flashed. He didn't have it up and available, so it was only really a Zenith Blade Hail Mary. So it's a little bit less.
How could you have forgotten that he flashed a level 1, obviously?
I know, I should have remembered. The culture is overwhelming. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is such thing as too much culture.
It can be a thing.
I just don't want to believe it. As Aiming and Beryl are going to go for the first part of this lane swap.
We're just building our culture tolerance, you know?
Yeah, and it's really important because there's going to be even more culture as we have another week, as Beryl just barely going to miss latching on to the robot. And Sponge will be starting off the Drake. So that should be claimed here by DRX. They have a lot of vision here around this area. Still haven't cleared out the control ward that's in the pit. But Lucid not going to be in position to try and stop that one as a bear comes down. Showmaker going to have to deal with this, and Andal, who does find that Shattering Strike. Still, Showmaker has not pressed Flash, will finally do so, as Yahoo is going to pick up a turret shot as well. Sponge taking his sweet time on this Dragon, but will not be contested, so we'll be able to take that one down as well. So the tempo vibes do move in favor of DRX.
Yeah, looking pretty positive so far. I will say swapping the Rumble away, and now she just kind of gets to farm against the Kai'Sa. He's feeling pretty good about that instead of D+. But the Rumble does still just get to play the Equalize the Wave.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Or he's at least pretty good at it. As Xiu, here down towards the bottom side, is actually able to park himself in this lane and feel quite okay, as you mentioned. That is certainly helping out. The more even an Ornn is, the more scary it is for his opposition. But we haven't really seen the Ornn dominance that he can actually have, right? When you do have tempo, when you do actually get ahead on the Ornn, start getting those levels a little bit faster and can deliver those ornaments to your carries, can be really worrisome. But we haven't actually really seen it. Orns have kind of just fallen behind and stayed behind in a lot of our games.
Yeah, I mean, this game, she was doing pretty okay. Rich really hasn't had that much momentum so far. And the thing is, if you don't put him down early, once he gets the Koenig Rukin, it's just very hard to do damage to him, especially as you have these. So often we have like the AP.
Oh, there's a flash in. A Showmaker just holding on to the ult for now.
Okay.
And doesn't have flash, is able to walk it off, but still, it's a lot of pressure. And Annie Pantheon, I mean, it's like point and click stun, point and click stun. You're just not going to have a good time.
The lack of tippers meant they weren't able to get more.
There was also, look at the boots. The Merc Treads feel so bad for Orianna ever doing damage, but feels real good into this combo.
Yep. Able to survive that one, so Showmaker walks away, and will just be able to make it back. Doesn't mean they lose a bit of pressure for the time being. Oh, no.
Oh, pack it up. The tempo vibes have immediately switched back to DK. Off the back of that one is Beryl walking towards Andal here. Looking to get a stun off. Going to be able to do so, but Andal will vacate the area. Showmaker moving his way over as Lucid is going to take control.
And I think it's just not a fight you're super interested in, considering the Wukong Ori combo's up and available. You're kind of getting zoned off, your bot lane is kind of getting pushed in, so I think they just back away from the grubs, and it feels pretty bad, but I don't think you have another choice. A fight there could have been devastating for DRX.
Certainly could have. And we're going to come on over and at least get some vision down, but the control ward in this tri-brush means the Beryl will retain control. Bit of an on-the-nose use of control there. We'll blame the script for now. As Aiming and Beryl once again in position, and Teddy and Andal, a lot of respect coming on through here, as Teddy just going to be farming with the Void Seeker. Bodes well for the future here for DK, because a lot of it is going to be hinging on Aiming getting as much value out of this 2-item spike from the Corki that he can find. And he's on track. Trinity Force going to be coming in pretty quickly, and he's already getting to work stacking up this tier as Rich will just shoot a harpoon at Beryl, and Beryl is probably not too phased. I can't get a read.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
I think things going not too fast in the early game, I think D+ pretty fine with that overall. Especially this Pantheon Annie. I know it's not the Pantheon Talia, but think about the impact we saw in the previous series with Nongshim and how they're really taking over the map. That hasn't really happened. So I think D+ fine with how things have gone so far. But there's two things to take into account. One, the team fights are going to be explosive, and two, it's Rise Group.
Yeah.
So we know what's going to happen. Well, it's going to be a little wacky.
What we know is going to happen is not what we expect is going to happen. That's what we know is going to happen. And so basically we just really don't know what's going to happen. Right? Because it's
exactly. So we know that we don't know what we know is going to happen.
So we know whatever it is going to happen is something that we don't know is going to happen.
That's what we know we don't know. Yes,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up, because now it makes so much sense. As Showmaker just trying to stand back, as Sponge is back here once again. And I don't think Showmaker has vision, but he has Spidey senses are certainly tingling.
It's a short window before that flashes up. Sponge is looking.
Oh dear, just let that one go. Yeah, he does. Okay, there we go. So Sponge not going to be finding an angle this time around. And Showmaker will once again survive. His flash is so close to coming back off cooldown.
Yeah.
Still, DRX did manage to pick up that first blood on that bottom side of the map when they killed Beryl. But as you mentioned before, nothing really came of that one. It was a lot more about the movements afterwards and the fact that Showmaker had to go back a couple of times in a row.
And it's just been a lot more chill than our first series. I felt like, especially how it started, I thought we were going to get explosions, panic, craziness.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Michael Bay, but it hasn't really been that. It's been a bit more like, I don't know, who does really, maybe Peter Jackson. There's a fair bit of action in a lot of those as well.
Yeah.
I was thinking more about like King Kong, which was like the least action King Kong ever. But anyway, we've got a flash forward here as Aiming gonna have to try and get out of there. Gets into the brush as the rest of his team's coming along. The Grand Starfall not really doing too much here as DK just wanting to get their Corki out. But Beryl might actually be paying for his sins. A lot of damage is coming through as Beryl finally going to be throwing out the flash, but the Cyclone comes in to double knockups, and Beryl goes forward to die once again. Finally, they do get the trade, but Rich is teleported in. Shiu going to come down as well. But in the end, it's actually a big trade up for DRX.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like D+ had so much AoE damage when they turned it around, but the problem was so much of it was split across multiple targets. They didn't manage to finish off their targets, spread the damage between Sponge and Andal, and that single target burst came in to finish off both Beryl and Lucid. And the reward is the Dragon. You've seen the replay.
It's going to be an Ocean Soul as well this game, but it's double Dragon for DRX.
Good start, but yeah, so they go for the play on aiming. He has to burn a lot to get out of that situation. And then they're kind of on the back foot because aiming's so low, so even though those tools are down, they're kiting away, Beryl's taking a lot of damage. And then they go for this turn, but again, the damage isn't onto Teddy, it's AoE across the targets. They disengage, they kill Beryl, and then Lucid tries to commit for the kill, and he gets it, but Sponge manages to turn it around. And he has Sundered Sky at this point.
Yeah, that was the thing, because he went down to like 50 health, but then got a third of his health bar back because Sundered Sky is busted.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like Wukong's really strong, and he does buy Sundered Sky, but he gets a second.
Yeah.
Whereas Pantheon, he buys Sundered Sky first. Big difference maker.
You could theoretically buy it first as Wukong, but then you'd feel a whole bunch worse. So it's probably not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Beryl is going to be going back. I'm glad that Jonas Strong gives it a little bit of a zoom in, because we do need to draw attention to the fact that he is not indeed using his skin that he does have for winning Worlds in 2020.
Someone needs to remind him. Maybe he's forgotten.
Yeah, and he changed up his skin as well, because he used to use the, like, what was the red and gray one that came out a really long time ago? It was like the release skin.
Oh,
the Iron something?
Iron Solari one?
No.
Iron...
Something else. Maybe it's not Iron. Maybe that is just Iron Solari. He does have an on-theme item, which is pretty cool.
The Locket of the Iron Solari.
Yeah, there we go. Feeling pretty Leona vibe there. He already had the shield, though, so does he even really need to buy the item? Because, like, you can see it. The item was already there from the beginning.
You know, maybe you should get item synergies, right?
Yeah.
Build an item that syncs with your champion.
That'd be really cool. Maybe you could actually, your champion could have all the items as well, like dangling off them in some way or another.
Well, with Leona, you just have to shoot.
It would be hard, though, wouldn't it? When, like, an AD carry has, like, 11 swords, they just have, like, swords coming out of their ears and stuff like that, and then they'd be shooting a gun half the time.
Yeah, also when you have components and you just have, like, 6 long swords because you're playing Talon.
Yeah.
And then you flip over a wall, but you drop all your long swords.
It would look a little janky.
They fall out your
maybe
pocket,
that
you
would
spam when
actually
they
make
pick
it
them up.
better. It might make it better.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's something we're missing a little bit in modern League of Legends.
Yeah.
The jank.
Yeah, where's the wackiness?
Yeah.
I think bring more spaghetti back. That's what we need. Maybe this is just like the Rise vibes getting to us. That's what we really want. Just doesn't feel as cultured as. Okay, in goes Lucid, looking for a little bit of a trade towards Sponge. As out goes Andal. Solar Flare, you're gonna only get the slow, as Andal will be staying alive for now, or gets the redemption heal. That's actually what saves him in that particular play. Man, that burst damage at the end, pretty huge. Still DK, only able to get 1 kill so far this game.
Scary times, and if that stun is connected from the Solar Flare, I think certainly would have been Andal dead, but the Ghost allows him to sidestep, get out. But it does give the pressure over to D+. They are looking towards this Herald.
Yep.
Andal's coming back on the map, and it looks like DRX wanting to contest this one.
All right, well, Showmaker, possible turn angle here for DRX. Remember, Sponge and Yehu are pretty scary. Still, the Rift Herald is going to go down. Beryl in amongst it once again as Sponge taking a lot of damage. Teddy, oh man, you could feel the killer instinct.
Yeah, that was
armed and ready.
That was a Leona with a Celestial opposition. And now I've noticed, you know how we have like 80 carries with multiple swords? This Leona does just have 2 shields.
Yeah, it is a bit of a...
You know, we have dual wielding, this is dual shielding.
Dual shielding sounds pretty legit, though. I feel like that's something that, like, Cassante would be really good at.
Yeah.
Just doesn't use the Natofos anymore, just uses a bunch of shields.
No, Cassante's been
Actually,
overpowered for long enough. We don't need to make him.
You know what it sounds like? It actually sounds like Link from Breath of the Wild, because you actually need to have so many shields.
Yeah.
Because if you're ever doing like the shield surfing thing, those things just break like instantly. You need to have another one in case you get shot with an arrow. So maybe it's sort of like that angle. So that you can always have one of them out, but you can actually have some in your inventory that doesn't make any physical sense.
An extra shield.
Yeah. Because there is precedent in other video games for that to be okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure item durability would work
And
so
in Mary
well.
Poppins, because Mary Poppins is a documentary, right? That's real life, and like she's got the bag that's like super duper mega bit like full of stuff. And like,
As someone who lived in the UK for a long time, I can say yes.
yeah,
100%.
Did you know Julie Andrews as well? Like, were you mates?
Yeah, good friends.
Oh, that's really cool. Dick Van Dyke as well, because I love that guy.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, man, I really want to come hang out with you and your family. As DK, there was almost a scuffle there, but there wasn't actually in the end. As Grand Starfall to come down, flash out from Showmaker, the flash in from Sponge, and from Yahoo as well. And Showmaker will be stabbed to death in the end. But bit of an overextension perhaps, as teleports are now coming on through. Shiu trying to set up for this one, but now he's 2 versus 1. The rest of DK continuing the fight, but the equalizer comes down. The Ram comes on in, and Shiu trying to stop Yahoo from doing much more. But the Acathian rains down, and Teddy's able to take down the Monkey, now aiming, having to deal with this. He does do a fair bit of damage, and Beryl is going to be once again falling. Aiming surviving is a big deal, but this is also sole point for DRX.
Good cleanup there from DRX. You know, the target selection's great. They take out Showmaker on the bot side, and then Teddy finding an angle to punish, to take out Lucid. And it just felt like D+ kind of scattered, kind of separated. Shiwu TP'd in alone. We'll see the replay. So the ult comes down, and instantly the call is like, hey, we need to save our mid laner, but it's too late. Yahoo flashes in. Showmaker's dead. Unfortunately, it's the Ornn team being into this, so they can't really kill Shiwu quick enough. But we see Lucid getting focused down here initially, so Lucid ends up pretty low because of the equalizer and the rel damage. And then Teddy sees a window, jumps in, takes him out, flashes away. Could have actually even have gone in more aggressively, but doesn't want to give Aiming a chance. And so Aiming just has to disengage, and they clean up the kill on a barrel.
Yeah, it's really nicely done. You did see on the kite back that Aiming was doing a fair bit of damage, but just not quite able to leverage it in this particular game. Still, it is not a massive lead. 1.3K is nothing to write home about, but that soul point going to be a big deal. It is just an Ocean Soul.
Yeah.
So DK fans can be a little bit pleased. Like if it was a Hextech Soul, for example, this is not DNF, this is DRX. So they will probably be able to make that one work.
It's not the biggest soul. Also, I feel like with Ocean Soul, the tankier your team is, the better it feels. You know, I think if it's on the other side, if you have like an Ornn with an Ocean Soul, it can feel a lot harder to cut through. But like DRX's comp is fairly squishy and bursty, so it's like you win or lose the fight so quickly. You're not getting that much Ocean value in fights, and there's not that much poke, really. Well, there's a bit from Corki, and that's kind of all you're sustaining through. It's not that it's useless, just not the highest value. But DRX threatening that, definitely going to be a point of strength for them.
Certainly is. Showmaker is now just going to be guiding Shelly towards this inner turret. I don't know whether she's successfully going to pick up a secondary charge or anything like that. Actually, never mind. She is. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, it wasn't actually able to walk up and stop that.
Yeah, I would have thought that wouldn't be able to go through, but yeah, a lot more value than I think D+ bargained for on that one.
Yeah, it did feel like a little bit of a last-minute Herald put down as well, so definitely very valuable. Shiu does hit item number 2, Hollow Radiance, to come in. Has also upgraded his Rookern currently.
Unending Despair, actually. Hollow Radiance is the
oh, sorry. I
always
get those ones mixed up.
Yeah.
Just
they
obviously
have
don't
a similar
play enough tank.
Yeah, they have a similar vibe, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like
Hollow, why did I just call them both Hollow Despair?
Yeah, no, that'd be a good fix.
Yeah, just figure it out that way. Tanking item of various outcome. Hollow Despair. Perfect. All right. Well, Beryl and Lucid clearing out some vision here.
Hollow Despair doesn't just seem like you're describing...
It feels very sad, doesn't it?
How KT felt after that loss.
Yes. Just a bit of Hollow Despair. Kind of how DK are going to feel if they lose this series as well. Or maybe chronically how he's going to feel if they lose this series. Maybe DK don't care at all. As Showmaker is able to dissonance his way out of dodge. The Otacon going to be the next thing on the menu as DK thinking that maybe they'll just take an outer turret in mid, and that is going to happen here.
Yeah, good pickup. Teddy has to respect them and back away. DRX lent heavily down towards the bot side and gave up a lot of pressure mid, and now D+ using that to move in.
Banana
put up
brush
access
control.
here. Yeah, Banana Brush control. So DRX have to try and make their way back in. They are looking for Lucid, but Wukong not the easiest target to punish.
Well, Beryl's going to get crashed into here by Andal, but he's not really synced up with his team. Lucid will go down relatively low. I don't think they need to be too worried about it. Sponge taking a little bit of damage here from the Orianna over the wall.
There's no major motivation to fight. It feels like a lot of poking and prodding for the vision, and the vision is super important because Dragon's up in a minute, Adakan's up now, but there's no, like, when the Dragon spawns, that's going to be the more pressing time to actually start the fight. Right now, it just feels like they're kind of jostling for position.
Yep. Well, Xiu continuing to clear things out in this mid lane. And he will be able to do so. Bottom side of the map, teleport in from Beryl. And he'll have his flash back up and available pretty quickly. Yeah, who's just trying to hold on to this bottom outer turret. But Beryl just daring him to press bear, wasn't he? That's exactly what happened. As in goes Lucid, finds a knock up onto Teddy, another Cyclone, and down he goes! Just a little bit of brittle, and down goes Teddy. Shockwave means the end of Yahoo as well, as DK spring to life here at 23 minutes.
And DRX try and move to defend the bot lane and just end up completely caught out. D+ use that pressure they had mid, use the control they had in the enemy jungle to find two great picks, and now this Adakan's just a free pickup. And I'm not even sure if DRX can do anything about the Dragon either.
Well, you can see there is at least an equalizer there if Rich wants to risk it, but there's also so many brushes, right, with this Ocean Rift. So it's just very dark and scary to get on in here. There's the knock-up on Andal as well as, yeah, they don't want to risk losing too much more. The Otacon is going to be taken, but Andal still has to flash away. And now Showmaker and Xiu are going to be enough to kill Sponge if he sticks around for too long, as the slows will just continue to stack up. So out he goes. And DK now will definitely have control of this Drake and will be able to deny the soul.
Yep, good work there from Showmaker in particular, just cutting down the HP, him and Shiru, zoning them away, not giving any chance for contest or a steal. And the thing is, DRX had some big spikes coming in, you know, 2 items on the Rumble, 2 items on the Pantheon, 2 items on the Kai'Sa and the Annie. They were ready to fight, but they didn't get their window. And here, Teddy taking the dangerous route, just exploded by Lucid.
Yeah, it's a lot of gold going over to the Wukong as well that you're going to be very happy about. As Beryl, yep, he just wanted to collect the bear.
I think this is one of these situations where you have to accept that the tower is already dead. And you hanging around to try and defend it gives up so much more than that low HP tower.
Certainly did, because that meant Otacon into Dragon, into even more tempo around this map as well. And it's the Infinity Force done here for aiming. Also, Xiu at level 15 has upgraded 3 items thus far. And so the fact that it's a 1.4k gold lead is actually more than that, right? It's closer to 3 or 4 as far as those stats are concerned.
And also the Adakan.
Oh, man, yeah. Well. And the Adakan only allows these items to come out even faster.
For the extra XP, yeah. I mean, the fact that the Ornn is highest level in the game, I mean, he is tied with some of the level 15s, but has the most XP off them. You're in a great spot. You know, if Xiu keeps handing out these items, you have this Orianna, Corki, who are scaling up to a great position. DRX feels they get like the game's in a delicate spot, and even if they get the Ocean Soul, it's not like an immediate out. It's not one of these souls that just drastically increase your chances of winning. It's nice, but if you get the Ocean Soul and lose the fight, you're probably just cooked anyway.
Speaking of cooked, the Monkey going to be in a little bit of trouble here. As Sponge going to get slowed down, but not stunned by the Solar Flare. Aiming still hunting for some rockets, but doesn't actually find too many. And Lucid eating the honey fruit. It's in his enemy base. They have cleared out this jungle pretty effectively. Baron has spawned a minute ago, but isn't something that they're really looking for right now. Just wanting to get their ducks in a row. All of these waves pushing forward. And DK really just on suffocation mode now. Really feeling like they have moved into a powerful spot. What they can sometimes do in game states like this is overextend. So we'll see whether Xiu is going to be able to safely get himself out of this one. What is going to happen? Well, actually, no, he's probably...
And Baron's up.
Yeah, so they are just going to do Baron.
I mean, Pantheon has ult.
He's level 13. He does have level 2 ult as well. It goes a little further, doesn't it?
they are running out of time quickly.
Well, he's also going to take
don't
the
do Scuttle Crab. You need to be there for Baron.
Nah, better get the Crab. He's going to get the Crab, though. As he does ult in, the Baron does go down.
What?
Crab wasn't even secured, so not even going to be able to get the consolation Crab.
That pass is, I mean, you can't just kill the Rumble. You just don't have the damage.
Well, Yehu is going to get missed by a Zenith Blade. Shoutouts to our previous series as now Showmaker gets dove on by Sponge, but that is not really where he wants to be. Showmaker and Aiming are actually cut off by from the rest of the team though, and Teddy is free hitting.
Okay.
They still just can't get in, as Aiming now might be able to help his Ornn make his way out. But that is way more than DRX could have ever hoped for after the Baron falls.
Yeah, they cooked them completely in that choke, so good turnaround there, bit of an overcommit from D+, but it was a strange play. I just don't see how they ever thought they were going to kill the Ornn in the bot lane with just the Pantheon and the Rumble. Give up the Baron essentially for free, but here, it's an overcommit. You lose the Orianna Shockwave, and then here, you dive so deep into this play. Huge amount of value from the Annie with the Tibbers there. The MR Shred comes through with the Rumble as well. And Aiming and Showmaker just are unable really to get access to good targets in the fight. It's a really bad spot to fight around that brush next to the Raptor camp, because the enemy carriers can retreat in multiple directions as you sort of aggress forwards. And a game that started to feel like it was really pulling away from DRX, maybe bouncing back a little bit. It's still in favor of D+. Still 2,000 goldie. They still have Baron on multiple members with those ornaments coming in, but it shows that it's not completely done yet.
Yeah, it's got that teetering feeling, doesn't it?
It's
where it's right now, the dial is pointing towards DK, but there is some wobble to it.
It's feeling pretty Rise Group.
I would say there's a bit of wookle to it.
Yeah, a little bit of wookle.
A little bit of wookle in there as the crash down comes on through, gets a decoy.
You know, they did a lot of damage to that decoy.
Yeah. So Lucid needs to be careful. If it's ever the real one, he will take a little less damage, but maybe not that much less. As building towards GA for Adam number 3 when that comes through, it's going to be very, very scary. Same to be said for Sponge, though. As Lucid once again going to get engaged on, but Beryl very happy to just tank up as much as they want to dish out. DRX now moving over, wanting to get themselves a soul if they can find it. DK really don't want them to do that, but the split pushing on is something they need to respect. Magnustorm collects a couple of them as Aiming. He's going to be the focus. Benandil going to be going down first. The Ram coming through. Yehu able to actually walk his way out, and Aiming will be taken down. There goes Lucid as well, and this time Showmaker will survive, but Beryl is also going to be dead. Rich picks up that one, and Shiu is just waddling about because he wasn't there.
Andal with a beautiful engage there, managing to find it, and the layering of the damage on top just completely cooks Aiming. You know, Teddy doesn't immediately jump in, doesn't get blown up, the recourse isn't there. And as much as D+ try to fight their way out of it, it's so hard to reposition after a fight starting in that way.
And that is going to be Ocean Soul going over to DRX. DK still with a slight gold lead, but this is going to mean that DRX can just go for these blades over and over again. Rich's health bar not going to be low for very much longer as the Ram is going to be called out once again. Gets a cheeky little knock up onto Sponge, but now he's low and he's just dead.
Wow.
Shio, I think, overestimating how tanky he was.
Yeah, there's a lot of shred between the double blood ladders, the Black Cleaver on Sponge, a lot of resistance shred coming through, and he didn't actually have that much armor going into that because he didn't have his Randuin's finished. But here, so Andal finds this great engagement at Aiming. A look immediately, the layering of the Tibbers and the Equalizer on top. Aiming just gets completely melted, so he can't really participate in the fight, and Rich flashes to kill him. Meanwhile, Teddy jumped down to kill Lucid, chases Showmaker out. And I think just that engage from Andal really set everything up, but it was the layering as well. Rich and Yehu following up. And even if Aiming had survived there, obviously Rich finished him off at the end, but even if he had lived, he was kind of just like out the fight, unable to participate other than firing the occasional rocket.
Wasn't going to be able to do too much. And now we are desperate for an Oblivion Orb here on the side of DK, because it will get even more difficult to finish off these targets, because not only that, they've also got a bunch of extra items, right? So a little bit extra durability. Terminus is done here for Teddy as well. So that will really help the longevity of this Kai'Sa in a fight. Sponge also finishes the GA.
You know what's big is that Aiming burned both the summoners in the last fight, and obviously Andal flashed. Yehu still has his flash.
Oh no. And Teddy has both stuns as well.
And there's no QSS, there's no Mikhails. So if Yahoo sees an angle just to get on aiming, you can just run at him in Q. And even if he Valks, right, the Q still hits, and then you just timbers on top of his head. So I'm a little concerned for aim. I mean, Showmaker also, no flash, doesn't have a Zhonya's yet, does have that Seraph shield, but I'm not even sure that's going to be enough. So it's very dangerous ground right now for D+.
Well, now we've got the Ram coming out again as Rich in trouble. He's going to go golden as Sponge turns up. Lucid is just out of there, though, and Shiu, I think he's burning his flash here as he does get himself out. Still DRX, they turn on a dime. Great Grand Starfall there from Sponge to make sure that Rich was going to be okay. But that Zhonya's cooldown is going to be up so incredibly quickly, and that flash, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, I do think of everyone on D+, the Ornn flash being down is not the biggest hit, but it still doesn't feel good.
The cool Ram Slam?
Oh, the Ram Slam? Yeah.
The flash Ram Slam's pretty cool.
He was so looking to do that.
Yeah.
You have GA just picked up there for Teddy.
That's a big deal.
So he is even more of a threat. And I feel like Aiming's been sitting on these items for a while. Doesn't have his IE yet.
I've seen this one before. This time, there is the rest of DK over here. The engage from Andal, not going to be quite as pivotal, but Rich is making his way in. Choke point going to be there with the equalizer. That is so much value. And DK now going to have Lucid getting caught out. He has to flash to get himself over this wall. The Void Seeker missing is such a huge deal. My God, I think that just kept their jungler alive. But DRX still going to have their eyes glued to this Baron. And with Shiu dead, he does have teleport, but that's still 40 seconds before the Ornn is back, and they're just going to start this up.
I think Shiu is just overestimating his tankiness. You got to remember there's double bloodletters, there's malignance, there's the harpoons from Rich as well. You know, the fact that Annie has the pen she gets from her ult, I believe. She gets pen now.
Yeah.
There's so much actual magic shred that he's not nearly as tanky as he thinks he is. So when he steps up here, especially with no flash, they just immediately turn onto him. You know, they would have loved to get aiming as well, but they know he has Valkyrie. But this half HP Shiu just gets melted through.
Yep, and he was the one that didn't have flash, right? I think it's actually beautiful the DRX go for this because they knew that he had no way out of the play. And even though Lucid manages to survive, avoids the Void Seeker, like all this sort of stuff, it doesn't matter. The Baron still goes over to DK. And now they're, Baron still goes over to DRX.
That's actually a thing to think about, is the fact that, so Pantheon gets Armor Pen on his ult rank.
Yeah.
Annie gets Magic Pen on her ult rank. Rich, Rumble gets Magic Pen when he lands the Harpoons. There's so much like free pen on those, and they all have pen applying items. So I think that's part of the thing, is that Shiu just gets shredded. He really he isn't as tanky as he thinks he is based on his items.
Well, they're going to dive on towards Sponge. They get his flash. That's something. Trade it for the Shockwave and the Cyclone. I mean, Shiu is, he looks pretty tanky right now, as he is going to head to the Forge to build something up. I mean, that is going to be an upgraded GA, which is kind of crazy. Teddy, he's got his, but yeah, decoy over the wall. Redemption has to be employed here to get Lucid back to at least somewhat healthiness. And it's going to be an Elder Flip, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
That is the most cultural outcome a series can get to.
Full 5 ornaments have been completed for D+.
So basically what that means is that gold is even, pretty much, as far as stats are concerned. Although there is a Baron as well, so it's a little bit in favor of DRX. We'll be able to take this inner turret at the same time. Aiming going to have that back stopped. But this is their last opportunity to go for a reset, but they're not going to be able to get any setup. They did manage to get the crab, so there's at least that. But this inner turret is just going to fall. DRX using this Baron so effectively. Still, Infinity Edge done for Aiming. That is kind of a big deal. But can they actually win a fight? That's going to be the question here. Because the Corki pretty far away from this fight right now as Beryl is boosting around, going pretty quick. We'll have that heal back up and available very, very quickly. Let's build spellbook things. All right, in goes Andal, finds 2. Magnus Storm comes down. Beryl getting in amongst it, Aiming, trying to kite his way up, but Teddy gets on top of him with a killer instinct. Yahoo does fall, but remember, Shiu wasn't even there. Sponge now going to get knocked up, but Showmaker just not quite enough DPS in this fight, and DRX, they take 2 and they trade it for the Annie.
The target selection so good from DRX there, and now Rich looking for more.
Yeah, he's just going to be flashing in here as the Redemption comes down. They pick up a bit of a heal, And she is actually able to help out here. The Ram going to get a nice few knockups, but Rich, the walking flamethrower, is so incredibly scary. And DRX should be able to move back, break open this base, and look for an Elder.
Little bit, maybe could have gone badly there. I think for DRX, maybe overstepped a little bit, but I think the Ocean Soul actually coming in clutch there. You saw with the damage from Shu and Showmaker, some of the health bars get low, but the healing comes in, they're able to back away, and they will pick up this Elder. DRX playing with conviction here.
Yeah.
And right now, D+ really on the back foot. You know, we talked about the ornament gold being able to equalize some of the differential. Isn't enough ornaments in the world to make up for the Elder buff.
Nope. That is just not going to be it. And we thought there was going to be an Elder flip, but it wasn't actually the case as Andil went for this engage. It felt like aiming was going to be okay, but then the fact that Sponge and Sponge gets to deliver Teddy right on top of him.
I kind of love the late engage because it means Lucid can't do anything, and because the Wukong's not doing anything, there's no counter engage really. So aiming's just kind of like, well, at least they're not on me, but then they are, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have your Wukong doing anything because he's being focused, so it kind of feels like DRX have such this good approach where they don't need everyone on aiming at the same time. And they did that in that previous fight as well when, you know, Andal went on to aiming, the equalizer was there, Yehu was there, but Teddy didn't immediately dive in. I think they've been very measured with how many members they need on targets and not all over committing into a shockwave, which we've seen teams do before.
Well, right now, DK just desperately trying to hold on to their waves as Andal went so far up into the sky. Yehu gets into that backline, though. Tibbers goes down, and they're fighting against an Elder, and that is never going to work as Lucid trying to flash his way out, but it does not happen. Still, aiming is able to get one back, but DRX, they are so incredibly deadly right now.
The front line gone down. It's Lucid Showmaker and aiming to try and defend, but it's such hard odds to beat the Ocean Soul in pocket, the Elder in pocket. They got to try and make a miracle defense here.
Yep, Lucid getting poked out by these Void Seekers as well. If two more of those land, I mean, he's just dead. As the Warrior Trickster does come on through, there is another Void Seeker to connect. They are dealing with these waves relatively well, as there is, of course, a Corki and an Orianna. They can actually handle that. But first Nexus turret is going to go down. Rich wrapping around to try and get the pincer move, and it's going to work. He roasts them all as the double comes through, and the Nexus will go down. 39 minutes. These teams doing exactly what they promised. It's a long one, but it's a DRX win.
And there were some moments, you know, where it looked like D+ was starting to get control, but I think the engages from DRX, the target selection, just refusing to let D+ play their game. And, you know, these compositions based around these two carries having, you know, the Corki and the Orianna, they just started to feel invisible. You know,
yeah.
Showmaker kept having to back off in the fights, aiming permanently targeted. And I think DRX really flourished. They saw their targets, they killed their targets, they made it real simple, and multiple threats. The Pantheon in particular, you know, the question has started to be, can we leave Pantheon open? Can we trade it? I think the answer we've had today is no.
Yeah, and also, yeah, like, but the problem is when it's up, pick it, for God's sake.
Like, look how much 35,000 damage, by the way.
But do you know what they got in response? They got a Wukong.
Yeah, and you know what? Lucid has played Pantheon before. He's a good Pantheon player.
Exactly. They knew. But that wasn't what they decided to go with. Instead, they decided to make it a little bit more difficult for themselves. And they did lose game number one. DK, can they come back in game number two? I think odds are we're going to hit a 3-game, right?
Pretty.
Chances are...
It's Rise Group.
Like, if you ask the 8-ball, it's going to tell you it's culture, baby. Let's get to a break. When we come back, the space going to break it down. We'll have game two. See you soon.
돼볼게. 타워 칠 수 있으면 쳐봐. 일단 풀 돌고 하는 거 같아. 반대 풀 돌고. 아니 쳐봐. 나 우리 높해. 나 우리 풀 안 썼었다. 이제 다음 라인 오긴 하는데. 천천히 하자. 야 이제 반대 풀 있어. 야 내가 이쪽 각 가면게. 내가 우리 쪽 각 가면게. 나 질러줘 럼블이 그냥. 질러줄게. 우리 궁은 이제 돌아. 이제 타워 위 타워. 질러진다 여기. 공 잡고. 나이스. 이거야.
I went when I was 10 and saw the theater performance of Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
My mother needed to put on like Christmas carols every night just so that I could get to sleep. I was so terrified. So terrified. Which, looking back, doesn't really make very much sense, and the music is fantastic. So I don't know. It's just something about it got me. It was when he was in a hood, and like it was like he was just like lurking. I didn't like the lurking very much.
Super appreciative of the music at that time.
Yeah, no, I didn't quite understand it too much. But also that particular performance was really, really good. Anyway, speaking of performances, let's get into this game number 2. Ambessa has already been taken away, and the Poppy will be removed as well. Kind of interesting, the Ambessa was not actually looked at in the previous game. Aurora is still up and available, and so is the Azir. Azir soon to be banned. I think that's likely going to be leaving next.
Yeah, it could be a situation where D+ try and go for the Aurora first pick, and if DRX ban it, they take Gwen instead, because Ambessa's usually pretty good into Gwen. We've seen that matchup go pretty okay for the Ambessa recently. So if you ban Aurora, Gwen no longer has anything that I think you can play into it that comfortably. So that might be the angle, actually, and it kind of comes down to DRX now. Do you ban Azir? Do you ban Aurora?
Do you ban Gwen? Could do a few different things here, I guess. See where they do want to go. Maybe you just don't ban either the Aurora or the Azir and just be happy with getting one of them, but instead it will be the Azir taken away.
So I assume now it's going to be the Aurora first pick, and the Aurora means that the Gwen's going to feel really bad if you take it in return.
It's the possibility.
And you can also flex it. Obviously, it's part of the power on top of that, so...
And Xiu did pick up a pentakill the last time he played it. Ignore the rest of the game entirely. The pentakill kill was pretty cool. But yeah, really ignore the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the pick, and it will come through. And then I'm wondering what Rich would take into it. Nothing feels fun at the moment into Aurora.
No. Maybe he just blinds Sion. He is nodding a fair bit as, oh my goodness. There are risks, and there is just picking Gwen into Aurora.
Yeah, in fairness, you know, we've seen sometimes this matchup not go as badly, and then we've sometimes seen it where it's like, get me out. So Rich clearly thinking he can handle it, and it's not going to be a fun time, but obviously Gwen, if you get it to the later stages, is still going to be a powerful pick. Rise quickly coming in for Yehu in the mid lane. His most played so far in rounds 3 to 5.
And Lucid is picking a champion that can build Sundered Sky first. And I respect that.
Yeah, looks like Showmaker might bring out the Cassiopeia, which we've seen a good amount. We haven't been super sold on it. Obviously, into Rise, you know.
I mean, Closer has made it work sometimes. So I'm interested to see whether it's going to happen once again.
Yeah.
As Lucid looking pretty visibly flustered here.
I will say it's, you know, with the Jarvan, you can throw the Miasma down inside the Cataclysm. It's pretty good into Gwen as well, so it has decent value there too. And now deliberating what to take in the jungle, it seems.
Hovering quite a few things, but I don't think
Yehu's
going to be locking away the Briar this time. So Xin Zhao going to be coming on through. Bit of a Demacian jungle scenario here.
Not really going for anything too out of the box. Just very standard picks, but I feel like, you know, Xin Zhao, obviously powerful in his own right, might be a little bit uncomfortable into the Cassiopeia just with the Miasma, but we've seen it was that highlight play from Ona was specifically in the Cassiopeia, that big pop-off one he got. So, you know, if you can get on top of her, obviously you can cause some issues. Neither team having a look into the bot lane yet, though. The Varus ban does come through in the second rotation, though.
Kind of crazy that Varus made it all the way through to the second rotation of bans.
Yeah. I wonder how much of that comes down to these teams and how much comes down to that he did get that little love tap. You know, it's hard to...
It is Teddy. Like, Teddy does really like Varus. but not going to be playing it this time around. Wasn't even looking to pick it up on R4.
And you got to remember, game one, it was Leona Rel. Neither are like super high prio in terms of the engaged supports. So there's a lot of picks still open. And we've just seen Varus, Braum as the first two bans. I'm talking Rakan, I'm talking Alistar, I'm talking Nico.
Yeah.
All up and available. Nico will get banned by DRX.
And with the Leona already taken away with Fearless, you can understand why. People do like the Leona into the Nico.
Maybe the Alistar ban from D+. I feel like Rakan is a little bit uncomfortable to play in the Cassiopeia Aurora, but who knows?
Yep. And you can imagine that D+ pretty happy to get their hands onto a Rakan themselves. See whether they can actually get them into a position to do so. Maybe they just slam like a Kalista lane or something weird like that, as Rakan is actually going to be banned away by them.
Yeah, so
Alistar now probably pretty likely, I guess.
yeah, I'm trying to think what else you would go. I mean, you could just go AD carry here and leave support to later if you wanted to be a little bit more flexible, but I think Alistar makes the most sense.
Yep, get to take it away from Beryl as well, and Andal pretty happy about the whole scenario. Let's see where Aiming and Beryl want to go. I mean, Sivir is still up as far as the tier list is concerned.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they just did some like slam Sivakama based on what D+ have been playing in general.
And they have a job in there as well to start fights if they would really like to. So the Sivir is already going to be hovered. And I believe that is likely to be the outcome, as never mind. Bit of a switch up, as the Jhin will eventually be the decision.
Okay.
Jhin Bard, is it happening?
Jhin Bard could be. Beryl definitely has Bard vibes in
He
his
does.
gameplay already.
But it's Nautilus instead, adding another layer of engage.
Doesn't feel amazing, the matchup in the Alistar, and also just into some of the picks you get a little bit mangled, but also feels like a little bit of anti-synergy with a Jarvan, because when the Cataclysm goes down, you're kind of, you Q and you're outside of it.
Yeah, true. But the Bard, that feels fantastic. So that's what they're going to lock in.
Especially in the Alistar, really strong lane,
Especially alongside Cassiopeia, because you get to Tempered Fate, and then she gets to set up right in front of them.
Oh, not super hot on the Ezreal here. A lot of safety, right, into the Cataclysm, the Miasma.
This is one of the weakest early lanes you can possibly have.
And Ezreal just hasn't been delivering.
No.
Hasn't really inspired too much joy recently in the LCK. I feel like the first three picks for DRX were very much like, okay, these are like really strong tier list picks. I think the Alistar obviously is pretty high in terms of tier, but into the Jhin Bard, it's a pretty uncomfortable lane. I think a lot of uncomfortable lanes in general for DRX on this one. The bot lane matchup is not good, the top lane matchup is not good. The mid matchup, even though it has traditionally been a counter, I don't think it's that. It's very playable for the Ryze. I've seen recently. It's more so just the Cassiopeia can cause issues for him in team fights, but the Jarvan is going to be able to put a lot of pressure onto that Ryze. I'd say the only thing is like Jhin into like Xin Zhao, Gwen can sometimes feel a bit uncomfortable just because like they have ways of stopping your burst, and if you fire your fourth shot and they shroud or they ult and then you're like stumbling with the bullets, it feels bad. But I generally think that D+ really happy with what they got in the draft here.
Yep, I would agree. And I got a bit of a quiz question for you. I know you're a bit of the hot stuff when it comes to Dagon's Fact of the Week. Okay. So I got this is my quiz question. What do you think the difference in win rate is between Showmaker's Cassiopeia and Showmaker's Kalista? Same amount of games played.
His Cassiopeia and his Kalista?
Yeah.
100%.
Yes. Which one's higher?
Is it the Kalista?
Yes, it is.
Oh my
Let's get onto the rift.
세상사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the rift for game number 2. DK trying to keep themselves in this series. If they do get a win, they will confirm first place in the Ryze group, as Rich and Andal have found Shiu, who he is just going to flash, as Lucid's going to turn up, and he'd already skilled, so can't actually press that W button. They will just chase him down, and snip, snip goes the Gwen. Oh man, this has not started well.
Such a good start for DRX, and on top of that, Rich didn't have to commit summoners for that. He didn't have to flash there. Andal committed his summoners, And sure, does that mean they're a little weaker in the bot lane? Yes, but realistically, they were already on the back foot in the bot lane. They were kind of in Weather the Storm mode anyway. Teddy even has TP.
Yeah.
That's how much they were kind of like, okay, we have to kind of just stall out. But to give Rich a kill and flash advantage in the top lane is such a huge boon, massive payoff. And clearly the call to go there was communicated as soon as Shiwu used his Q.
Yep.
They were like, okay, he doesn't have his W, this is free.
Landel already getting that Hex Splash working as the Doughboy goes up into the sky. Absolutely adorable. Mystic Shot is going to miss.
I'm glad that we learned about that the other day.
Yeah, the Doughboy thing, absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Wolf, for that one. The knock-up animation for Bard, actually one of the cutest things on the planet.
Whoever
designed it must have been
that.
having such a good time.
Yeah, and the thing is, I feel like it's something that isn't... I mean, obviously, Bard mains will see it a lot and appreciate it, but the wider audience doesn't always appreciate it, so I'm glad we can... I'm glad Wolf could bring us into the appreciation.
Exactly. As aiming is going to bring a wave of minions towards this outer turret on the bottom side of the map. As that first blood gold not really helping out here for DRX, although they have, as I say that, moved into a little bit of a gold advantage. But as this wave is going to crash forward, should be DK taking some of that control back. You can see CS numbers towards the top side of the map looking pretty good for Shu. So despite the first blood, still doing okay. And of course, wasn't actually able to go back. So Rich hasn't benefited from that money at all just yet. All right, Lucid going to be stealing the young prince's stuff away, and will be able to secure it there with the smite. So Sponge, unable to lock away his blue buff. Will be a 3-buff start here for Lucid to start this one off.
I mean, that's the thing, despite the early positive start for Rich, it's still 3 lanes of prio for D+. Mid lane is a little bit more even, but like top lane, Rich is having a terrible time. Bot lane, not going much better.
Yep. Still going to be a bit of a gold advantage for Rich, who does manage to grab some shoes and an old magic mantle before he does come back. And Sponge just going to be wandering into the mid lane, picks up some poison on his way through. And Lucid wanting to grab himself a crab here, as he is lying in wait. Wasn't actually spotted. Oh man, yeah, pings out onto where exactly Lucid is. And so Sponge, man, is he going to get double scuttled and triple buffed?
You can actually see Barrel moving over and pinging the scuttle, so they know that's up.
Yeah, it is going to be Lucid immediately making his way over there, and it's the top side of the map that Sponge is heading to. This is what 3 lanes of prio gives you, as, okay, Shiu may actually just get run down again. This time he has W because he's level 4. That's going to be helpful.
I think there's Shiwu planning to TP back anyway, so even though the trade looks really bad, any damage he does to Rich is actually going to stick. He's going to reset, pick up some items, but I think Rich actually kind of cheat that himself and pushes the wave a bit and goes for a reset. They are going for a swap now, and we've seen these swaps a lot, but this is a game more than ever where you want to get out of these normal standard lanes because they are not a good time for DRX.
Going to be feeling better after they have moved. Teleport in from Teddy. That does allow them to retain some tempo here.
Yeah, the double TP, not something we've typically seen in these swaps, but it really allows you to speed up the process.
Yep. Saw it work for Jiu as well with Nongshim on the Ziggs earlier on today. Showmaker making these Twin Fangs count, but not too much to really write home about as far as this mid lane is concerned. And yeah, actually should have a decent CS lead after these waves have been eradicated.
It's no Callisto mid lane, right? So
no, not quite, not quite. A little bit unfortunate there that he can't quite. It will mean that if he does win this game, he goes up to 50%. And, you know, that's a pretty impressive change as far as win rate is concerned.
I feel like the fact I got that just shows Degon's Fact of the Week is really working on me, you know?
Yep. Or you know exactly the stats that I like.
I think that was it. I was kind of like, okay, if he's giving this to me, I feel like there's a good chance one of them is like 100 and one of them 0. Like, it's definitely small sample size.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I know he'd love 100% Callisto win rate.
And that's exactly what it was. Pretty sure I remember that game as well. I think it was back in when they were really struggling with who to put on the Rift during COVID, I believe. As Shiu is taking a lot of damage, but isn't going to die just yet. Has that flashback up and available. As Rich and Sponge getting pressured out of their own jungle momentarily.
And this is much better for DRX right now. You know, Teddy and Andal able to pressure Shiwu away.
Yep.
Rich is getting some backup to survive. And those rough lane matchups kind of just vanished.
Well, there's the flash in. They're just looking to kill him, and they should be able to do so. Does manage to get a bit of health back with the level up, which is absurd. And Shiu is now able to flash out of the way of the Mystic Shot. Teddy is likely to die, and he will go down. A 1-for-1. I guess maybe you'll take that.
What a play there from Shiu with a level up to survive the ignite damage. The ult for the slow clears the wave.
Lucid just flagged and dragged into this Dragon Pit.
Yeah, he's staying. He's like, yeah, this is where I want to be. No, never mind.
Yeah, gets himself out eventually.
Regretful decision.
A bit of free damage there on
Yeah.
good old Jarvan.
I think maybe thinking, okay, bot lane, top side, I can just take Dragon here for free. But yeah, this was crazy, this play. Going for the burst here and thinking they just have enough damage, but the level up obviously keeps him alive. And then the fact he gets the ult, clears the wave with it. He's still 1 HP. The slow on a Teddy in the flash.
That could have been worse as well. It's actually crazy.
He just literally did everything he could.
Yep. And after the game that he had last time around, you can really hear Chronicler saying, this is what happens when you don't put him on the tank.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily his best performing champion, but he performed pretty damn well in that last play, so we're going to give it to him.
I mean, he's had some good games on the Aurora. You know, he had that miracle defense.
Yeah, I mean, the miracle defense is what I'm referring to. The rest of that game was a little bit of a rough time.
Let's just forget the rest of the game.
Was that also into DRX? I think it might have been. That's right.
Well, I think it was because I remember they all clumped up together, and I think I
Yeah.
was criticizing them for all clumping up together.
I also think Shiu got solo killed by Rich on Rumble in
You know
that
what?
game.
That's something I wanted to praise last game. They did a lot less clumped together last game because they were spreading out.
Yeah, it might have been Rumble, might have also been Gwen. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. This is a new series. This is a new time. And these are the grubs. And Lucid's going to kill them.
Yep. Lucid being pretty objective focused this game, trying to get the Dragon early. Didn't manage to, but will get those grubs. All three, no contest.
Yep. And
Fly.
Ooh, never mind. That
only
is going to
gets
be
two.
True Shot Barrage taking one of them down. Nicely done there by Teddy.
Yeah, the smite could have reacted in time to secure that third one, but Teddy will get a little freebie.
Yep. I mean, I think he probably felt like Teddy deserved it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, this is the cultural group.
It
and
is.
it's about appreciating everything, whether it be on your side or the enemy team's side. As
not
Shiu
again.
may just be dead, does manage to get into stealth, but it's not going to save him. He's going to have to ult to get out of there, and does manage to do so. A lot of defense being played by this Aurora.
So hard to punish this champ. It's just why it's been so frustrating, because there's a lot of champions that are hard to play against in the top lane in the 1v1. And the reason we don't see them always come out is because a lot of them you just gank and they die and fall behind and become useless. But Aurora is just very hard to gank.
Well, we're seeing that. A fair bit of evidence for it. As a cannon is going to get eaten up by this turret. So they still do get a fair bit of value. With the fact that she was sent back home. Doesn't actually invest the teleport, though, as he is just going to walk his way back up there. And the Drake is going to be secured, goes over to DK. Next one going to be a Mountain. Aiming and Barrel getting to work on some plates themselves here in this bottom lane. Aiming finding a bit of damage onto Rich, but he can go immune, as Gwens do kind of want to do.
He was toying with the idea...
That's a curtain call.
Yeah. One...
Okay, just wanders away. There
He
we
was
go.
toying with the idea of walking into the shroud there, under tower, and I was like, you probably don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I think.
Sometimes, you know, it's not the thoughts that creep into your mind you should be judged for. It's the thoughts you ignore that are trying to creep into your mind, you know?
Yeah. Well, a lot of respect that he just backed away from that and said, no, I'm
Yep.
good.
Didn't listen to the voices.
Yeah.
Well, Yahoo and Showmaker are just trading waves, basically, over and over again. As we can see here, it is going to be entirely even. As a Barrel? What do we mean by this? As he heals, but he dies. That is just going to be Feats of Warfare going over to DRX. And if you want to know the why, I don't have it for you.
The why, because it's Barrel. The how, because it's Barrel. And the who, Barrel.
Got it. Thank you for that. I probably should have known.
Yeah. It's especially on bot. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, more than any other champion in the game.
Well, Showmaker now is just going to yell at Andal, but he is unbreakable in his will. He will go down, though, so a little bit breakable. Wind becomes lightning, but doesn't actually lock onto Showmaker as the Cataclysm comes on through. Tempered Fate was Beryl.
A lot of circles being thrown about that just aren't hitting anything.
But that was a flash out from Sponge, and so that is why those circles were there.
If their goal was to make a Venn diagram, they did achieve it.
They did. It was a very inclusive Venn diagram as well, because they were quite on top of each other.
Yeah.
I've seen this one before. As Beryl can magically journey his way out of this.
But maybe he doesn't want to.
What does he want? Maybe not this. As Teddy's going to turn up, there is going to be the magical journey. Teddy does go through as well, and Beryl is just going to put down a shrine, keep himself alive for now.
He's just learned his limits from last time. How much damage can he take? And he baits out the Ezreal ult.
Oh, amazing.
Exactly what he wanted to do.
That's a free True Shot Barrage. Extraordinary.
Yep.
Shio also going to be able to lock down that cannon, so feeling good in the mental as far as this top lane is concerned.
I know obviously we didn't get like traditional lanes playing out. It was swapped, and it was Teddy and Andal putting pressure onto Shu. But the fact that Rich is up in farm in this matchup and in a pretty comfortable spot, he's feeling great.
Yeah.
If you're in the Gwen and you get through this lane without getting pummeled into the dirt, you're feeling fine. Oh, this... yes.
He was making a tea party. That's what he was doing. It's just a tea party.
Andal was invited. Teddy wasn't.
Yeah.
But he came anyway. He ruined it.
And Andal just trampled all over the doilies. Oh, no. Well, he's now maybe going to get punished. Meep Slap does come on through. As the flash from Beryl to lock down the cow. Does press R once again, but these Twin Fangs are just rocking him. And down he will go. Tempered Fate going to lock up the turret for fun. I think, and not too much more is going to come of it, but good aggression here from DK as they're looking for even more as these plates are starting to fall.
Yeah, Yahoo trying to defend here. There's not too many minions left, so the turret's going to be able to survive. Some proactive plays coming out from D+, get them back into a little bit of a gold lead.
Yeah, feeling a little bit better. I don't know whether they're out of the woods just yet. We'll see what the retaliation is going to be here from DRX as Yahoo is eating a fair bit of time. There is the petrifying gaze. Miasma means he's going nowhere, although he's right. So he definitely just wasn't going anywhere anyway. And that is going to be another kill going over to Showmaker. True Shot Barrage, not quite enough damage there, as even the Uttercon walls just popping up out of the floor. Bit of a jump scare there.
That's the thing with the Rise, when you're casting your spells, facing forwards, very easy for Cassiopeia to find that ult. Showmaker gets the punish. And a good set of kills picked up by D+, and that turret not quite taken yet, but I think Aiming's just going to grab it now.
Yep, should be able to get over there. That's why he is there by himself, going to be finishing it off.
This looked like a good flank initially, but just not enough people there, really, in comparison. There's 4 members of D+ movement.
The flash from Showmaker as well. I'm pretty sure. It was a flash, right? It does look like it's still available here, but it looked like he flashed so that the headbutt went the wrong direction. And then Andal died. No, never mind.
No,
didn't actually do it.
Okay.
Kind of. It's kind of a weird situation. He was like, I have ult, and then he just got him right on the edge of it as well. Beautifully played.
And now it's Cassiopeia 2-0-1 with a sizable lead. Looking like it might be able to force some win rate back on that Kalista pick.
Yep. It wasn't Andal's flash, was it?
No, because this flash is up.
All right. I don't know. Perplexing.
Are you okay?
Is my brain okay? Probably
Are you
not.
getting a bit too much culture?
I mean, this is day 3. And we've had some 6-gamers, we've had some long ones. As Amy just really wanted to take that magical journey. And he did so. As, I mean, Showmaker was right there, but they still did use the...
I feel like sometimes you get hyper-focused on objectives like winning the game, taking structures, taking the Nexus.
Yeah.
And Beryl just wants to have a tea party, and Aiming just wants to go on the magical journey.
And sadly, Beryl once again going to have his tea party interrupted. That is going to be a nice knock-up. Deadly Flourish is going to connect there as well, as Beryl looking to keep them all alive with this redemption. Aiming, not actually pulling the trigger on that R button, but there's a nice knock up from Lucid as Rich going to get caught, and Sponge does have the ulti to keep him alive. The Venn diagram of the... Oh, okay, never mind. It just wears off, and down goes the Rift Herald as well as DK violently taking away the tempo vibes in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like there's so many things they can throw out, maintain a distance. The Miasma, the Burst on the Aurora, the Root, the Deadly Flourish from the Jhin, and the Stun, the Cosmic Binding from the Bard. And unless DRX are able to commit to a fight, they kind of just have to weather the storm. It feels really uncomfortable.
Yeah. And Showmaker actually just thriving as well. 2 items are done. They're the same ones that Yehu wants, and Yehu is nowhere near his Seraphs.
He's also, Showmaker's kind of in this position. He's not in a good position now.
Yeah, this is, so, maybe it's a fine position, as that is a lot of damage down onto Rich. Showmaker finding these Twin Fangs. Andel's not going to be offering any damage back as Rich does go in, and that is going to be the kill finalized. Thankfully, Yehu turned up to make sure that that one was going to work, as the rest of DK trying to sort out this outer turret in the mid lane. It's likely just going to fall, as with aiming and Lucid here, that should guarantee it. Yeah. There it goes.
A lot was committed to the top side to make sure Showmaker went down there, so able to translate that pressure into a tier 1 mid. D+ pretty happy with that, although obviously losing Showmaker not ideal. I was going to say though, like that play, during that play was when his Seraphs got fully stacked.
Yep.
He's not had his Rod of Ages stacked yet. He's really approaching the point where he's going to be extremely strong.
Yeah, every item coming from now is where you really start to feel it. Because as you finish like these two, it's like the most underwhelming item completions that you can ever really get.
Kind of fake completions.
Yeah. As Beryl is going to pay a visit to Yehu here. Meep Slap does come on down. Ashu doing a fair bit of work, but Andal will turn up, and Beryl going to have to get himself out of there. Does light Yehu on fire just a little bit, but not too much more going to come of it. She about a 500 gold lead and has actually moved into a CS advantage as well. We were commending Rich for that one. But he's still 1-0-1. I mean, this Gwen is still quite frightening.
Yep. Just feels like both teams trying to find action. And we're getting bits, we're getting here and there, but the kills aren't coming through like that rapidly.
Yep.
But it just feels like they're constantly trying to make plays. Mostly Beryl and Andal. Like, Andal's trying to set things up. He's trying to ruin the Tea Party. Barrel's trying to have the Tea Party. Now looking bot lane.
That's just a Cataclysm. It's going to get a flash out, as Lucid can then just hook onto his flag and head out of there. So trading ult for flash, you're always pretty happy about that. As Beryl, I mean, he really does just want a Tea Party, doesn't he? As Cosmic Binding is going to stop Sponge from having fun. As Shiu lying in wait. Oh, the barrel bait. The barrel bait. As the flash does come out, Redemption looking to try and get these health bars up. Tempered Fate says, no, you're not audaciously charging onto me. And he has to actually ult to get himself out of dodge, because there is a Jhin making his way up. And he doesn't want the curtains to be called. Man, I am very surprised that Beryl managed to get out. That was a magical journey in unto itself.
He's been limit testing, and he's found his limits.
I think he has.
Oh, there's an ult for
nice sidestep. The curtain call is going to come on through. Arcane Shift from Teddy. Third bullet is going to land. The fourth one blocked by Rich. And Andal looking for a bit of an angle here. Shiu is going to be able to buffer that W really beautifully. And Lucid kind of hoping that he had that Cataclysm back up and available once again, but still a big win for DK. They'll be able to take down this turret, and the wars of attrition going on across this map seem to be all coming up DK.
Yep, finally able to get that third outer turret, and now 2,600 gold up. They're ahead in terms of gold, in a pretty fantastic spot. And it just feels like DRX really struggling to find angles in. Every time someone approaches, it feels like eventually they kind of just have to flash away from the situation.
And maybe what we've discovered is actually the real definition for tempo vibes is just Beryl's Bard.
Yeah.
If he's not just like instantly dying on repeat, then they have the tempo vibes. You know?
Is that specific to his Bard?
No, I mean, it's just Beryl, I guess.
Yeah.
But it is more, it's more clear with the Bard.
He does get some sort of a inherent multiplier when he's on Bard.
Yeah, something like that. Realm Warp is going to deliver a cow towards Showmaker. He's not too worried about that. As Cataclysm used up once again, as Sponge using the ult really nicely. Lucid does get himself out of the way after the redemption does pop. As now Beryl having to take that magical journey out as Sponge goes back in again, aiming able to deliver a lot of damage. That magical journey looked like it's way too long. Jeepers. Getting the angle right in there as this dragon looking to be taken by DRX. This would be Soul Point if DK can get it. Headbutt Pulverize does come down. True Shot Barrage onto only Showmaker as Rich turns up as well. A magical journey going to be taken in by Showmaker, who does ult flash to get himself out of the way. The needlework is going to go wide, and now into the pit they go. Shiu is going to fall right after he goes between worlds. And the curtains getting cold here. A bit of damage onto Yehu, but I think they should all make their way out. And that is going to be the dragon secured by DRX. And a kill going their way as well.
That magical journey was a little bit suspect. I'm not sure that's...
I would say it was a strange one.
Not sure that's where...
We've had some issues with champions appearing on other sides of walls and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure that was definitely going that side of the wall.
I don't think Showmaker wanted to be there
Yeah.
afterwards. So we get the play starting off. Sponge actually does so much. He gets jumped on, but the ult means aiming can't do any damage, and he kind of just bullies Lucid away. The other guy's actually doing a good amount of damage as well. Beryl dips. Lucid hangs around a bit too long, and then leaves to try and heal up, but it just means they can't really contest the dragon without the jungler there.
Yeah, and Lucid actually just goes over to his Krugs, right? So
yeah, and then here, so Showmaker, this journey, I think it was just like Beryl's like, wait, I've got you, take this. And then he's like, what?
yeah. And then ult flashes, but unfortunately, Rich wasn't facing him. Blastcone delivers Rich back into the pit there as well.
I feel like this is a sort of situation where Showmaker will be like, why did you portal me into the pit? And
I hope
Beryl
there's
will be
not
like,
a large amount of infighting now, as Lucid is going to try and get himself out. And
Okay,
he
that
does
was
so.
pretty good.
That Tempered Fate was extraordinary. Okay, Beryl, maybe you've redeemed yourself, as the Unbreakable Will has to be used here by Andal. We don't have the curtain call just yet to try and eliminate some of the low health members, or the low health cow.
yeah, I was going to say, Showmaker will be like, why did you portal me into the pit? And Beryl would just say, did you live though?
Yeah, and maybe he also would have said, like, just bard sounds. Because maybe he is like a method actor, you know, when he's playing bard. And he's
I can
just like,
believe it. And then that's how he's just locked in now. The ult there was pretty spectacular. Arkan,
that's their shot calling issues solved in an instant. As Arakan is getting a little bit mad at them.
little feisty, really wants someone to attack him, and they're just kind of resisting the urge, which is impressive for Rise Group teams. Normally, they'd have Showmaker does have a tower, but it's still a little scary when there's 4 members. The
Does
enemy
manage to
team
get some
nearby.
poison down there as well. Sponge actually taking a bit of damage. Shiu does need to be a little careful, as Lucid, at least he's at full health. Beryl above half, which is about as much as we can expect. As Rich was looking to come on over. Bullet is going to connect there. Rapid fire cannon helping aiming. All right, DK with control of the area for the moment, but I am still very worried for both teams.
DRX are kind of just corralled in here, though. Like,
Sponge lying in wait. There is the Realm Warp as the ulti does come on through. Tempered Fate just to lock up.
Man.
All 3 of them. Eats the CC there onto Showmaker, and he now gets to get those Twin Fangs out. Beryl, my God, this man. He really is epitomizing the Bard players. Rich, he was immune for a few moments, but there's the knock-up on the Sponge. He pops like a balloon, and now Rich in so much trouble. Beryl finds him, utilizing the Otacon to get the Cosmic Binding, and now Teddy, oh, he has to deal with the curtains, and he's not going to survive. Rich goes down as well. Beryl, man, I don't know. I just don't know.
we just can't truly understand him, but we can appreciate him.
Yeah.
We can absolutely appreciate him. That
Comprehension need not a pride. That was probably one of the best ults I've seen. But also everything else was just him looking for tea parties.
It's the fact it doesn't hit Showmaker so you can get some distance, but it hits everyone else. And then the follow-up afterwards, they take out the Rise, they're able to keep chasing. And, you know, this is prime opportunity when you have a composition like this. You know, DRX's comp, shorter range, kind of has to be on top of you. Kiting away is so painful. Gets the stun here onto Rich. Keeps chasing with a magical journey. The
That's
fact
a
it
lot of
ends up
kills
being
going to
a
aiming as well.
5-0.
Yeah. Well, honestly, escaping from this composition,
It's so hard.
yeah, it's just not going to be a thing. And so aiming now, I think he just went back and bought Infinity Edge. Or did he have like a BF sword as well? Maybe he did.
He probably had some components.
He did get a lot of money from
That is
that
a
last
big-
little exchange.
That is a big gradient.
Yeah, it looks like a bike jump, doesn't it? A little bit. Actually, no, it doesn't. It looks like a quarter pipe. It's
it
a
looks
bit
a
of
bit steep.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm about to
steep. Yeah, this is when you're coming off the mega ramp. You know, at the end there is that that quarter pipe.
I was like, what sort of bike jumps are you doing?
Yeah, the ones where you come straight back down. I think is what that one's a representation of. And Lucid going to be coming on over, looking to steal this one away. Rich will be able to get a bit of bounty gold as that top outer turret does fall down. But DK, they do get the Otacon. They will be able to get Soul Point. That is just going to be eaten up here by Showmaker. And an inner turret does fall over.
There is a bard coming.
Oh yeah, who needs to be scared? If I was Rich, I would be scared. There's also Lucid, so another reason why you should be scared. Knockup comes on through, aiming going to turn up here as well. They did need a little bit more here as the needlework does come down, but it is Showmaker that is able to secure it in the end. And maybe that just means Baron.
I think it does. I think probably can just set up for this. TP coming in from Teddy, try and zone them off though.
Yeah.
There's a good amount of poke from the Ezreal, so maybe that can cause some issues. Have TP coming from Yahoo as well.
They are grouped up. All four of them will be on that northern side as DK have started this. Remember, Showmaker does a lot of damage to the Baron as Teddy, position now going to be shown. W does tag onto Shiu, who's looking to wrap around. There's a Tempered Fate to lock down the Ezreal, and now they're going to try and turn. Lucid does get himself out of there. The magical journey from Beryl as Yahoo is going to get separated. There is the Petrifying Gaze as Teddy. He's ticking down, but he's keeping himself alive. But finally he'll fall. And DK, it was a 4v5. They should have definitely won it, but they actually will do what they were supposed to do. And it's Beryl that locks down the kill. Is that 500? Does he finally get there? Was that his 500th kill? Because that would be hilarious. He got one!
He got one!
That's five. Is that 500? I think that's 500. Did he get one in the last game? I don't think he did. There it is!
What a game to get it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we get the milestones and we're like, you know...
Yeah, you remember like the closer one? Oh my god.
But we did have the hilarious owner one with the aura farming, with the T-posing.
Yes.
But this was a great game for Beryl on the Bard, doing some goofy stuff to get the 500th kill. And here, the ult connects on a Teddy even though the Arcane shifts. Lucid goes in, is focused on initially, they kite back. And you can see Shiu and Showmaker giving Yahoo some trouble. And then Shiu gets this massive ult, the Petrifying Gaze, the Cataclysm. And Shiu dashes forward to finish up Teddy as well.
Yeah, Teddy
just
almost stood his ground because he got a fair bit of damage down after he went incredibly low. Just wasn't enough.
Those happy chime noises, you know, they're doing a great job of calling the shots.
Yeah, honestly, that's what they needed. They just needed all of their shot calling to be done in Bard language. And then it was fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, there is just a sense of calm with the way Bard speaks. Not the way Bard players play.
No.
But the way he speaks. It's a bit ironic. As okay, aiming, moving towards his top lane as Shiu and him just closing in on Rich. Man, that was just one bullet. It's now going to be a 1v1, so not necessarily what they want, but Lucid is going to turn up, so now it's not a 1v1. It's in fact anything but, as Rich just going to get poked out. My God.
Just a little
Why did
damage.
It felt like Redemption did so much, but now they've dove on top of aiming. Out, he gets flung as Lucid, as Sponge actually able to take down the Jhin. Now Shiu in a little bit of trouble as Showmaker and Beryl making their way over. Shiu surviving for way longer than I think he had any right to as the Magical Journey gets Beryl out of there. Lucid coming on over as Andal. He is just free food waiting as Showmaker, he's gonna go golden. There's Ebba pulverized right on top of the Cassiopeia, but she just yells at the Gwen. Down goes the Alistair, and it's a triple for the Snake Lady, and Showmaker says not today, we ain't throwing this one.
Just when it starts to get messy, Showmaker looks like he's under so much pressure. Multiple members of DRX cannot take him down. And it looks like his win rate will be climbing up from 0.
50 points, absolute insanity.
It's a big leap.
It really is. 3-1-3 as well for this job, and Lucid having a big turnaround here in this game as well. But let's have a look at how this one started.
It was a little bit messy. You know, Shiu ends up somehow locked in this sort of 1v1. Lucid is a little bit isolated under the tower. not the cleanest setup, and DRX see a winner to go for. Despite the fact Rich is low, they're like, look, you can reset, we can go. Sponge and Andal on the flank here, and they get aiming. And so initially that's like, cool, we took out the AD carry, this is a good start, but unfortunately Teddy gets exploded by Shiwu. I think if Teddy had survived, this could have been a winnable fight. And even though in the extended fight they do start to pick up more members, Showmaker just is such a presence and is so much threat. And you see Yehu keeps trying to like bounce onto him, and the minions are kind of blocking at times, or like he's just not getting enough damage, and then eventually he just goes down, and the yawning team was kind of here.
That is so incredibly Showmaker. Now he also goes back and completes the Zhonya's after that arm guard got broken in that last fight, so he can do that again. As Shu, level 17, as Sponge not actually able to get into that brush before the vision does show off his position. Tempered Fate gonna catch Yehu though. You cannot escape Beryl. DK also can't escape Beryl, but DRX in this game definitely cannot, as down goes Yehu. And Shiu is just trying to survive. He will be able to go golden. That's going to buy a bit of time. But base for Shiu is going to be the trade. And I don't know whether that's going to work out unless DRX really just wanted 3 games. And that sounds like a cultured opinion to me. As Sponge goes in, he goes out. And these Nexus turrets are going to follow suit. As, oh no, Lucid just put Rich in prison. Oh dear. His circle is going to be on the floor, but he is also going to be on the floor. Lucid going to be delivered to the fountain, but he has a GA and he gets out of there just in the nick of time. That's going to be another ace, and DK will bring us the distance. Another glorious 6-gamer.
Beryl even tanked the fountain laser for his jungler at
I mean, if there is ever a time where there's going to be, it's not even justice for supports anymore. Today is just justice for Beryl.
Yeah.
That Bard performance was just everything a Bard player would want in a
Game
Bard
1
performance.
was chaos, and it was DRX finding a lot of strength in, you know, the power of the Pantheon, the power of the Rumble, lots of setting up aggressive plays. This was just Bard vibes, you know? Not bad vibes, Bard vibes.
Yeah.
And I think something to be decided in draft. I feel like the top and bot matchups favorable for D+. We've seen, obviously, Cassiopeia favoring the Rise. We haven't seen it always have as much impact. Showmaker, I feel like, in the team fights just really made Yehu have an uncomfortable time. That was pretty fantastic. And
yeah, I also think that the Jarvan really made it difficult for Teddy to make a good decision about his AD carry. Because the Ezreal, obviously, we're looking at it, we're like, doesn't feel very good. But you have to have something that doesn't just die to Cataclysm. So no Jarvan in game number 3, and so we'll have to see what is going to be hitting the Rift. Time for us to take a short break. When we get back, the space, gonna break that one down, and we'll have the 6th game of the night, baby. Let's go. That'd be dangerous. That'd be way too strong for Keria.
Dangerous for Keria.
Yeah.
Also,
so we
I
can
think
already
they
see
would
that'd be a bad idea.
Even if it was open, I think DRX would probably just regular ban it
Yep.
in this game.
Especially after that performance, as Ambessa going to be the first ban here once again.
And
DRX on the blue side this time. The bans are still the same.
Yeah, so first time they're going to be on the blue side. Obviously having to fight from red side first 2 games, so a bit of an edge there.
This has actually started out exactly the same way as the Nongshim T1 series. Nongshim lose on blue side, win on blue side, get crushed on red side. And so, if you're a DRX fan, that could bode well if things are going to go the same. But if you know anything about the Rise group, you know that that's a bad sign. Consistently inconsistent. They cannot do the same thing in a row.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe instead of it just being like it can't be a stomp. That's, I think, what we're going to get out of this. As Yone going to be taken away here as well. Does mean that things like the Poppy will creep in. Talia's still up and available. Azir is still there too.
Yeah, I assume the Yone ban is to try to set up for an Azir. I wonder if they ban the Talia here and really try, because I feel like if you do that, they're just going to ban Azir on 3.
Yep.
It would make it very telegraphed. They're probably going to ban the Azir on 3 anyway, so maybe don't ban the Talia and hope you get it. So if you ban the Nico, you're saying, please ban the Azir right now, and then we take Talia first pick, is maybe what I'm thinking they're trying to put across.
It might be leave up the Azir is the angle. I do feel like Talia has found a lot of success, but maybe Calyx has kind of skewed my view on the champion because he played so well. But they are going to go with the Azir ban instead.
Yep. Try to force their hands into banning the Azir, and now Talia left open and available.
That should be their prize.
You would imagine so.
We'll see. There are a lot of junglers that have been just fearlessly taken away, as the Demacian duo as well as the Monkey and the Pantheon. So quite a few things down the list that we're going to be looking at. Trundle's priority is going to be moving up as well, but the Talia going to be that lock-in. That is their prize for this first pick.
What are you going to take into this specifically? Some of the picks are left open available in the mid lane are like Galio or Victor, TF. There is the Ari, which is really common into it, but we've talked about that already today.
I hate it
Saw T1
so much.
The win rate's really low. This is probably going to be what they lock in.
I just really...
Wolf is so mad right now.
I mean, it's mirrored right here next.
But then again, he's also kind of happy because I'm pretty sure he predated against D+, so...
If he is a DRX Predator, then he is going to be very, very happy with the Vi lock-in. The Ari lock-in. If there was a Vi, that would be feeling a little bit better. But the Trundle is what's going to come on through instead.
I mean,
these are two of the most underwhelming picks at this point in time, I'm pretty sure.
Like, I think Trundle is by himself a good pick, but I don't think Trundle Ari is an inspiring duo. And we just got the news.
He predicted DK. So he's actually just incredibly annoying.
So upset.
Yeah. And honestly, I think in a vacuum, he's just going to be annoyed anyway, because then he's stuck inside a vacuum, and that kind of sucks. No, just because he just doesn't like the Ari.
Yeah.
Sivir is going to be locked away, though, and you can feel a little bit better about it, especially because it's Teddy, but also because there's no Jarvan. And the Nautilus going to be picked up there as well.
I'm not a bit... I really don't think there's a big need to pick up the Nautilus here. I also don't really like Nautilus into Trundle because the pillar like interrupts your flow. You also become... You're just so squishy and you can kind of get exploded.
Also doesn't synergize well with Talia for the same reason, right? You can just put walls in the way.
Yeah. Especially because like Rakan is available.
That is true. And it is something that DRX would have really liked in this draft, but Shiu going to be looking towards the Yorick here. Looking pretty happy about it, but he is just a pretty happy-go-lucky kind of guy. So I think is just going to be pleased with playing the Ghoulie Man, and we'll be able to take that one away. So Dampe has hit the Rift. So looking at a whole bunch of bot lane bans here on the side of DRX. Otherwise, top side and jungle, I mean, the junglers are going to be limited, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, they banned the Jax. You know, we saw the Jax into Yorick earlier. Doran obviously ran away with that matchup.
The Doran defense, I think I like that.
Seen Renekton also at times do really well into Yorick if you can get momentum. So maybe that ends up being a ban. Could also throw a ban towards the jungle.
Just depends what they're worried about. But a lot of things have already been taken away. Braum is going to be removed.
I guess Nocturne doesn't really fit with the comp. They do just take with the Nocturne, yep. So taking away things that match up well into the Yorick. I guess the pool of junglers has been trimmed quite heavily. Nocturne just doesn't really fit with DRX's composition. They could go the Z actually, I think DRX. You know, we saw the Z earlier. In the bundle, it's quite popular.
That's a Zeri.
D+ are looking at the Zeri. I mean, I think that composition needs a hyper carry. They have like Ahri, and then neither Yorick or Trundle are super inspiring in team fights in terms of like carry potential. So you need someone who really carries that throughput in fights.
Jinx could do that as well. Also has historically had a pretty good matchup into the Sivir, as that is going to be the lock-in.
Oh, I think it could just be... They're looking at the Lee Sin.
I mean, Jinx Lulu could actually come on through here.
I actually don't like the Viegos. I honestly think if you're feeling confident, I mean, it's up to Sponge, but I think something like... I feel like they saw the Z earlier. If you get momentum on it, you could just absolutely decimate the Jinx.
Yep, Kled, bit of fun there, bit of Broken Blade flavor. But the Cassante, that would be a whole lot more LCK, and that will be locked in. Doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun into the Yorick, but the Viego will actually be the decision in the end. Beryl unleashing the Catfish, and there it is. The Tahm Kench going to be the choice.
I think the Jinx Tahm actually does a lot for this composition. You know, the Jinx outranges so much of DRX. The Tahm not only is fantastic into the Nautilus, but also like Viego is such a momentum-based champion, and the first target, quite often, you're going to try and get that reset off. You know, if it's Trundle, Trundle's going to become super tanky because you picked Cassante into Trundle.
Oh no, they did pick Cassante into Trundle, didn't they?
And if you try and focus somewhere else, Tahm Kench is happy just to gobble them up. So I think, to some extent, I was really confident in DRX taking the Sivir and taking the Talia. Really strong combo. There's a lot of DPS from that, but I actually think they kind of fumbled things as we went deeper in the draft. And I think the Tahm Kench, huge value here, and again, the Trundle into Cassante feels so good.
And if we were to look at it from an acronym perspective, it's also a disaster. Because it's Tissenkv.
No vowels.
And on the other side, get some of this. Atijit. Atijit kinda just works.
Sounds like
my mind.
At Egypt.
I know, and it also reminds me a little bit of Ejim, and I kind of miss him. Hope he's doing well in Canberra. Okay, time for us to get onto the Rift for game number 3, or 6 on the night.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're on to the Rift for the final game of the evening, and we have absolutely gone the distance. We would not have it any other way. As Teddy, he'd have it a lot of other ways. As the flash from Beryl, okay, Tongue Lash going to come on through there, as Teddy didn't flash. So actually, he got 3 summoner spells from DK, and the minions have well and truly not spawned. He is going to have his back interrupted. But I still don't think it really matters too much.
It's a huge trade up in terms of summoners, and it looks like he's going to be there in time for the wave. He did have to start Spell Shield, though. That is the one hit that he...
That is somewhat not good.
Yeah. They are...
Wait. They are really continuing this cheese.
I mean, Beryl is using the chef skin.
He is. And Showmaker is going to find that ward there as well. The ward is going to find him. Who's going to be starting on the bottom side of the map here. Could be some vertical jungling that will come through here as Teddy gets some vision down. They do know that the Trundle is likely in the vicinity, but he is going to be heading towards the Raptors next, so they're going to see him anyway.
I mean, this matchup was already going to be rough, but now the fact that Teddy doesn't have any proper trading tools.
Did you see that spell shield value, though?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Also, Andal getting his passive on both of them in that instance. Not too bad. Oh, never mind. Sponge will be able to take his Raptors as well. That's going to be feeling fantastic here for DRX in, isolation. As Yahoo just throws a rock at Lucid as he makes his way back towards his side of the jungle.
That's enough to scare him away, especially if Sponge was there. And also no pillar for the Trundle ganks, not really too intimidating.
Okay, Rich's Cassante answer has not necessarily started to bear fruit yet. But trust me, as it goes on, it's going to remain bad, probably.
Yeah, just get to level 6 when he summons the Maiden. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Hey, but then Cassante can go all out and have less durability.
Yeah, I'm sure engaging into the Yorick, who has that, is really good.
Would you say that Ari's due? As the man who does generally work out whether things are due or not.
If D+ are going to win, like, if we're going to see Ari win a game, I think this might be the one. You know, I think I have some concerns about DRX comp, but I don't think it's setting stone because it is still Ari.
Yeah.
And Ari Trundle doesn't inspire huge joy.
Sponge is wandering right now.
He doesn't have much to do with some of his camps having been stolen away.
Yeah, well, we got an Abyssal Dive to come on through here. That's going to pair with these Flame Chompers quite nicely as Beryl has a whole bunch of gray health, but he may need to eat it. Never mind. Oh, he does, actually. I prefer not to press that button because it does give you a whole lot of health regen.
Yeah, he definitely actually didn't need it. He wasn't going to die with that, so he could have just held it.
Well, Sponge is moving in. I believe unseen as well. As Lucid going to come down as well, so DK kind of wanting this one. The flash forward from Sponge is uninspiring at best. And now Lucid going to come over. Let's see whether this pillar's going to work out. Teleports coming in from everywhere. And DK, their health bar's well and truly low. As the hook just a little early, but still the stun's going to come in and down goes Showmaker. Sometimes the teleport is just not what you want.
Yeah, Showmaker not having a good time flying into that one and already down in terms of the mid lane matchup as well.
I mean, he did get counterpicked by the Talia.
Yeah, this Ari is continuing to not inspire joy. This might end up being one of those games where if they do win, it's despite the Ari.
Yes, and I think honestly, in this matchup, it almost always is.
Yeah.
Showmaker will be able to make his way sheepishly back towards this lane. I really do hope that this week sort of serves as a lesson for those that want to pick Ari and just stop doing it into Talia. As we're going to check this fight out one more time, Ando obviously wanted to start this as Sponge was making his way in. The flash forward was weird, and then Lucid came down, but then these teleports that came in.
Sponge not connecting the stun quite. Beryl didn't quite have his heal, and then here they clear out the minions, and then the dredge line's early, but the stun is perfect from Sponge there.
Yeah. One of them was going to nail it, and it was Sponge in the end, making up for the flash play from earlier.
It was also because aiming and Beryl were a lot lower. They couldn't hold around and wait for their mid laner. They were just kind of like, okay, Showmaker, you have fun.
Well, Rich is actually trading pretty well here, but has teleported back. Shiu has not.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the...
Yeah, I got caught. It was a bit of the play-by-play thing where I'm just looking at what's on the screen, not actually reading the summoners.
It happens to all of us. It's when you come back from a replay and you're like, what's going on here?
What's the game state?
It happens quickly.
Shiu's got a dagger, now wandering towards this bottom side of the map. Aiming, holding this wave. It's not feeling too fantastic.
We were talking earlier about, holding all the items.
Yeah.
I would like to think that Shiu gives the dagger to one of his ghouls,
Oh, yeah!
And they just start shanking.
Yeah, little stabby boy.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. As Beryl, just diving abyssally. Doing that mainly for himself, rather than to actually try and do anything to Rich, I'm pretty sure. That's
going
my
for a
headcanon.
swim.
Yep. Showmaker looking for a bit of an angle here. Does get over the rocks and out of the way. And there's the charm. It will connect as Shoot. There it is. Yeah, going to be able to fall down to DK, who will be able to answer this. So both mid laners dying in this game. But it was the kill going over to the Trundle, so not necessarily optimal for the mid lane matchup.
Showmaker hit us talking about the matchup and said, okay, I'll show you what I can do. I'll show you why you pick Ari into Talia, and gave us a little demonstration.
Worked out quite nicely. This is also working out quite nicely for DRX as they are making use of this lane swap quite effectively.
Oh, the cannon's still alive though. Come on, Shiu, pick it up.
Oh, can he get there? Morning Mist. Morning Mist. There it is. Actually just hits it with a Q. Gorgeously done. And gets the Maiden for it as well. So now it's an even matchup on that bottom side. 2v2. Sponge going to be able to take the first dragon of the game. Next one going to be a Hextech as well. So Infernal and Hextech Souls off the cards. Cloud probably the next best option. As the seismic shove missing was kind of the death nail here for the Talia.
Yeah. And Showmaker going with such confidence. The fact the pillar comes down, you're kind of forced to flash, and then once you've already flashed, hard to dodge away from the charm afterwards. I wasn't sure if they'd have the damage there, but if everything lands, they do have enough.
Yep, turns out it is going to work. As Lucid is actually going for the Trinity Force first. We've actually seen a few variations on the Trundle build, where some do go for the Sundered Sky early. This is looking to not be that.
Yeah. And I feel like the Trinity Force is a lot of damage for the Trundle. But I feel like the reason you kind of go Sundered Sky is that healing, especially when people go Spirit Visage later, it just makes you...
Yeah.
It's kind of when you're playing like that durability version, where you kind of just, you go for the Chomp to heal up. You don't have as much presence in the fights.
Ooh, Beryl eating honey fruit, but the rest of DRX are now moving over. Just one of these grubs to go over to DK. That's Lucid looking to play some baseball here with Sponge. Teddy turning up to try and do a bit of DPS, as there is the wall to come through from the Talia. But Beryl's the one that's sort of caught out of position. He is going to have to flash, does get himself out of the way. The Flame Chompers, though, are just going to block any sort of approach. So that will mean the DK can get themselves the objective as we head back down towards this bottom lane to watch this intense 1v1. As Sponge will be able to lock down his blue buff, but a bit of pressure being put on here by DK as the Ghoulie Wall is going to be set up. And Rich, I think he'll be absolutely fine. He does have his Bramble Vest. And look at the adorable maiden making its way out.
Yeah.
I don't know the tempo vibes of this game yet. I've just been kind of looking at it and accepting it for what it is, but not actually seeing any results.
They're in flux right now.
Aha.
That's how we describe them.
I like that. That is a bit of a Rise thing. Is now Yehu going to be able to interrupt Beryl here nicely. The hook is going to connect there as well, as he's looking to make his way out, but aiming is kind of free hitting here. And the DPS potential of this duo is not necessarily massive.
I like how the mist comes out and it suggests like Sponge is coming, but he really just started channeling his recall instantly.
Yeah.
Just spooks them.
Perfect. Now they have no idea where he could be, but he's likely back. And that is precisely it. Beryl now hitting level 6, does have access to the Gobble. And I'm looking down and I'm seeing 2 hyper carries. One of them is a little bit further ahead, so aiming pretty happy about the state of this game. And he has been their most consistent member as well. As Yehu laying down the rocks. This could be a dive, 4 versus 2, but they're clearing out the minions very nicely. Showmaker goes in, immediately gets knocked up as they will be able to take down the Talia. There goes Andil as well, as Beryl eats the Grey Health and then dies unceremoniously. But the kill does go over to Andil. That's probably best case scenario for DK.
I think you definitely take that, you know. Unfortunately, the Beryl did die at the end. I think part of it was he ate Lucid a bit too early.
Aha.
But overall, still, play went pretty solid. We'll see a replay, we'll see exactly how it went down, because Lucid took aggro and takes 1 tower hit, takes 2, he's healing. I think maybe he could have taken 1 more.
Yeah. I thought that he was probably going to have enough Grey Health, but just didn't quite. And I think it would have been
He did get healing from the kills as well. I think it was just he was, to be fair, not chancing it and then him dying instead. I don't think it's like a bad call or anything.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the main thing was they got the kills, aiming was still alive, just push everything in, and it's a good play for DK.
This is maybe not, as Beryl taking a little bit of damage, but never mind. Chasing Beryl into the jungle while he's ghosting away from you is never an opportune move, I would say.
It feels like a trap.
It does. And oftentimes it isn't, but you can never really risk it because it feels even more silly to be baited by Beryl.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I should have known!
Yeah.
Maybe why he gets away with things. As Lucid now does have his Trinity Force done. Blackfire Torch first here for Showmaker on the Ahri. It's interesting. Could be the old dot build. Kind of cute. We did see Bulldog make it work quite effectively on the Azir earlier on in the week.
I like Blackfire Torch has gotten more popular. I know they've been building a lot in the LEC. You could also end up going, I don't know if you will, but like Blackfire Cosmic Drive, because the dot keeps the Cosmic Drive running.
He does very much like the Cosmic Drive, as Rich has pressed a lot of buttons. She is just going to flash away, but I think that it's not going to work. As Sponge going to be able to take down the Yorick. Really nice gank here from DRX to even up the kill score. Seismic Shove going to go a little bit wide, but you can see Andil trying to get himself out of there. Super Mega Death Rocket sails by majestically, and we'll head towards that top lane.
Nice dodges there from Andil. Dodges the charm and the ult from the Jinx. Keep himself alive. Teddy
Abyssal Dive does come on down.
Let's just sidestep it.
Yep. Lucid going to be moving in, and they're going to look for a bit of a plate gank here towards this bottom side. And there it is. Plate is going to be secured. Boomerang Blade, fair bit of damage onto Lucid, though, so he does need to be a little bit careful.
I mean, it's a Triforce, Trundle, and a Jinx as well. You'd love to get any alone time with power.
Well, there is the hook forward from Andal, but he doesn't actually hit a player. It is the wall that was right next to them, as now Lucid moves in, actually isolates Andal, and he's just dead. That's an excited aiming. And that is 4 kills for DK, and should be a Dragon, double Dragon denial here as well from DK. Wow, that's a lot of Ds. Even DRX starts with D, my goodness.
I think he did catch Beryl, but there's this weird hitbox thing when he's like round a wall.
Yeah, it sort of got pulled into the wall instead.
Yeah, so he wasn't in melee range of him afterwards, so it's...
I mean, I don't think we should try and work out the math of Nautilus Hook.
Yeah, it's that weird...
It's not real.
It's got like a lollipop hitbox sort of thing. It's like thick at the end, so like it can kind of...
Yeah.
Sort of, it feels like it curves around walls.
I shouldn't have distracted you, by the way, with the hitbox conversation.
Yeah.
Because we have another one.
That's kind of on you.
I mean, if it's on me, sorry, not sorry, right? Because that means Showmaker gets so much extra healing from his resets, Shiu is going to get so much extra healing from being Yorick, and Lucid is Trundle. Not to mention Beryl's playing Tahm Kench.
Okay.
I mean, this is a Chemtech Soul dream game, if ever you've seen one. Plus, I mean, it was Infernal Hextech first two, so we weren't going to be too enthralled by the Soul.
You were never pitching phenomenal. I mean, Mountain could have been good.
Yeah.
But that was kind of all you were really working with. That was on.
Would have worked against DRX, though, because the more Mountains they get, as I've said before, the more value Trundle gets.
Cloud could have also been. But yeah.
Yeah, Cloud would have been the best option, obviously.
D+ setting up in the area for this Herald spawning in 50 seconds.
It's a long way away, actually.
They're trying to establish the vision and just threaten. Because the thing is, if you play Nautilus, so much of Nautilus is like, okay, you step up, someone tries to attack you, you queue terrain to get away. But in a Trundle, if Pillar's behind you, you're just kind of stuck, especially with no flash.
Yeah.
If it goes to the reset for the Make Treads, though, it just gives them a window to push in and really establish vision here. And the Sivir does just kind of melt waves now.
Well, Coolie Wall going to be denying Yehu for the moment, as Shiu not going to be walking out of the way of that seismic shove. The rest of DRX going to turn up and put him in the ground once again. Targeting Shiu has really been the bane of DK. They still have a slight gold advantage. It's not end of the world, but not a great sign for them, as DRX gain control of this Herald. Boomerang Blade goes a little bit wide. The flash out of the way of the big anchor there from Beryl. And now the Tahm Kench without flash. That is a big deal. Actually means a lot for aiming safety as well in these team fights. But he still does have his flash, which is important. DRX is standing on a ward. That's awkward. Trying to be sneaky when you're just in full vision. Still, they are now going to back away, and the Trundle just going to move over towards this Rift Herald and see whether he can take it down.
Yeah, he's on vision, but I think just the confidence gone with those tools been from DRX.
Yep. They do sweep it out. Sponge is actually looking to try and make his way in, so maybe there is going to be a little bit of a fight. We'll just have to see. As Shelly is going to lose patience. Teleport in, okay. Andal going to get slowed down by the zap. There's the hook that's going to connect onto Lucid. He will get knocked up as now Showmaker looks for the charm but doesn't quite find it. Teleport in from this Cassante towards the top end of this fight, but Shiu's moving down as well. These health bars are getting softened up. The rocks go down. Shelly once again is just kind of annoyed. Hook's connecting, is aiming, able to sidestep, but does still get pulled back. Can he get excited in time? And the answer's no. The resets coming in from Sponge. And the Abyssal dive actually from Beryl to try and get him out of dodge, but it doesn't work. There's the chain CC, and DRX spring to life.
Managing to kite away from D+, trying to find the aggression, trying to find the charm from Showmaker. It doesn't connect, and the re-engage comes in clutch. Sponge leading the charge, getting the resets. Aiming gets caught out on this Jinx, and can only find a window of safety on this pick. It just felt like D+ were really scattered here.
Yeah.
Start off with the play initially, the pillar comes down, but they actually engage onto Lucid here. CC comes in, and then Showmaker, he started his ult, so they're like kind of on a timer to make something happen with the Ahri ult, and eventually it just times out.
Yeah.
And that's when the re-engage comes in from the blast cone. Aiming
standing
doesn't
on a ward
expect
once
this.
again.
Yeah, he gets slowed. And it was actually an eat onto Lucid to save him from Rich. which just means aiming's dead.
Yep.
And Lucid, he's low, so he's gonna die anyway.
And Sponge gets over for that extra reset as well. And that means that now this Viego is such a massive problem as DRX, yeah, Song feeling pretty good about this one. And this is the kind of fight that you desperately need as DRX in this mid game to make this composition work, as now they're looking for even more. As Beryl, you may ask why, but not understanding is also okay too, as he is going to go down extraordinarily low, eats the gray health. There is now Showmaker making his way in. Lucid gets gobbled up yet again, and Showmaker, the point-blank charm, is going to connect onto Andal, and they will get the first kill. Now the resets are coming in for DK. And all right, the pendulum, it swings back and forth, ladies and gentlemen. It swings back and forth.
You can never be sure of anything in the Rise group. And these comps are so momentum-based. We have Ari, Jinx, Viego. If you don't get that first initial kill, it feels like the comps can sometimes hit a wall.
Yep.
And that's what happened. Beryl surviving for so long there. Lucid as well. I mean, even, you know, we think of the reset potential of the champions I've named, but Trundle reset potential, the extra health, you know?
There you go. What about Tom Kench reset potential? He doesn't really reset, but, like, he would still be there as well.
Yes.
While the other champions are resetting.
Yes.
Potentially. As turret in trade for the Dragon, and that is going to be feats of strength and strong feet over to DK. As we're going to check this. What happened here? I like the rocket. That was my favorite part. Okay, the Herald was taken and the Herald was denied. Okay.
So Beryl survives so long here because he has Celestial opposition, and then he just doesn't press his gray health. Like, I actually want you to look at how late he leaves it. He waits until then. I actually thought he was going to die before the redemption came in.
Yeah.
And then he gobbles Lucid to save him, throws him back in, and Lucid's like, I'm going in. It's go time. Psychopathic behavior from the jungle support of D+, but it works, so how can I fault it?
Well, I mean, you can probably do what you did and explain what happened. As once again, this time he's dead. Andal also getting close to that, but the reset is there. Sponge looking fantastic as his chefy self. He will get himself out. So it is just the pick onto Beryl.
A good target to start on, because even though he's bulky, you know, he can't ult himself as much as Beryl definitely would like to in moments like that.
He plays as if he can. As all right, Showmaker is going to be able to tidy up this bottom lane. It looks like it is going to be Cosmic Drive as well, coming in second. So going to be moving a bit fast. Does have a chunk of AP on that item as well. A little bit of experimentation with the build, aiming, looking for item number 2, but oh man, just needs to finish the recipe of the IE. That feels terrible.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's a 1,000 gold lead for Rich. What?
I mean, he's got a lot of kills and assists.
True.
Okay, so Beryl doesn't have the Celestial opposition up, which obviously makes him a lot squishier.
I think in Beryl's mind, he was setting up the fight for his team.
Yeah, he gets CC'd, and then he runs out of health.
Haha.
Yes.
I like using that instead of died. Runs out of health.
Yes.
As DRX, they are going to try and make Arakan run out of health. DK are in the area, but full information is here for DRX, and they are starting this. The Mega Cone can possibly get them in, but that is going to be the knock-up on the Lucid. He does try to avoid a fair bit, but the Gobble, it does come in, but immediately they all just die. There's the all-out from Rich, is now Showmaker finally going to get here, and the Cassante will fall. DK, though, this is a 3 versus 4, and I don't think they're going to be able to make it happen.
Honestly, it looked like it was just Arakan for DRX, but if an overcommit from Rich ends up getting him punished, I still think they're going to be able to secure the objective, though. Sponge starting off, but does need a bit of backup. We'll see, though. D+ are moving in.
Yeah, there is a control ward on this, so they know exactly what's going on. They're trying to defend this outer turret.
No way Sponge just solos this, by the way.
I mean, that's what he's trying to do. He'll eat some honey fruit. Maybe that's going to help. As Andal going to move out of this brush. Boomerang Blade is going to come on through there as a charm. Does connect onto Andal. Super Mega Death Rocket finishes him off, but Shiu flashes away. He keeps himself alive. Somehow DK make this thing work.
It was a pretty interesting set of circumstances, you know. Sponge trying to solo the Arakan, and then they just try and make the play happen. The seismic shove not onto Shiu, but onto the Maiden. instead. And in
The
the end,
maiden really got shoved, though.
she absolutely did. Yeah, this was so weird. Okay, this play was pretty straightforward. This was a great turn from DRX. They're starting to Lucid. Barrel comes in to try and make the play. Andal turns to CC on the barrel, so it stalls out the gobble, and then it's just double reset. Little deep from Rich, though. This felt overforced, unnecessary, because the rest of the team just couldn't get there in time. And I think
Sponge also dove into the Ghoulie cage.
And then here, okay, so this is where it gets funny, because the shove, he was going for Showmaker. He was going for Showmaker.
Yeah.
It just looked funny, because it looked like he just shoved the maiden. But
And he did do that,
yeah.
to be fair. As all right, we are straight back on this Otacon, and DK are nowhere in sight. So it will just go over to DRX in the end. Shiu going to be trading that one for an outer turret towards his bottom lane. Aiming going to try and grab this outer turret in mid as well, as Teddy was looking to rotate over. Beryl is going to deliver himself as a distraction. And I guess that worked out, but...
Beryl is always a distraction.
He is. He
Sometimes,
certainly is.
Sometimes to himself.
But the problem I'm seeing here is that there's a 505 Viego for DRX.
Yes.
So that is going to be the biggest thing that DK needs to try and mitigate. And on top of that, there's also a 106 Sivir. Teddy has been kind of unchecked this game.
There is also a 4-1 and 2 Jinx, though. Aiming is starting to come online. It's a big if they can keep them alive, though. It feels like their focus has kind of been keeping the front line alive in these fights, rather than have to keep aiming alive. Aiming kind of is dying last, but it feels so much about kill the front line and then just charge forward from that.
Yeah.
We'll see how it pans out here, though.
Showmaker trying to get
flanks.
some vision available. Seismic Shove is going to go wide. The Weave as well, just to block off the approach here for DK, as it is just going to wear off. This Dragon still up and available as Andal going to get CC'd. It looks like the Drake is not what DK are looking for. As never mind, Lucid, can he actually get in there? The answer is no, but the King's Tribute gets him all of his health back. And now the Cassante is dead. Beryl looking to try and close him, but Andal gets a great hook. And Beryl is going to gobble up Showmaker. He now has a big shield, and Teddy is trying to kite it out. He does do a lot of damage, but not enough to save them in this one. And DK, they just leave Andal alive. And even he may not survive this one. We'll see what they can get off the back end. Maybe they can kill. No, they can't.
Slash opposition comes up, and the gobble from Beryl, the momentum killer. You know, the Viego's nothing without those resets. And these comps are so volatile. As soon as those kills start coming in, it makes such a difference. Lucid's denied access to the Dragon, but the focus is so much on the Dragon rather than on the fight. And Lucid's low, but he gets the redemption heal, gets the heal as well for the King's Tribute, and then they just blow up Rich. Because think about it, the old...
And the Ghoulie wall goes down, he dashes in, and then Shiu just traps him.
Yep, and Sponge trying to get the reset on a Showmaker is denied by Beryl. Teddy's trying to do so much AoE, but again, AoE doesn't find the kills apart from on the Beryl. And it just ends up not working out for DRX.
Still, as we can see here, the swing moves DK into the same level of lead that DRX had prior. We also see Otacon still there for DRX. That'll be there permanently. They will have that pedal advantage. And it's just 2 dragons apiece on both sides. What my point is that we are no closer to knowing who is going to win this series.
Oh, no. And the thing is, it could so easily have a fight where someone on D+, like if Beryl dies quickly and then the resets come and they happen again and again and again, and this Viego's so fed. Teddy is doing so much damage.
Lucid.
Beryl.
Okay, well, there is some scary things happening here as Rich is in the front line. They are just eating Andalo, and he's just dead.
Okay.
Now Aiming's going to get excited, runs towards Sponge, but DRX are out of there. Once again, the Y is hard to find, but they were looking to try and get vision on Baron.
Yep.
It's not necessarily, no, the Y is easy. The what, that was the hard thing to comprehend in that particular moment.
It's just so hard playing Nautilus into a Trundle and walking up in these situations, so easy to get trapped. Now Lucid's looking.
Yeah, once again, puts the pillar down as the charm is going to connect onto Rich. Beryl looking for an angle as he does get shoved back. Ghoulie wall goes down as well, and man, there are some jump scares in this game. Jonas Strong playing with our hearts right now.
You can see they're not confident enough, having just killed Andal alone to like start Baron, but they're like, let's just throw a pillar down and hope this is enough.
Yeah, and look, it kind of was. Showmaker just wanders behind as well. And Sponge manages to get the stun off onto Lucid, but Showmaker managing to find that angle. Gets a whole bunch of Essence stacked up there as well, and this is the start of those double resets that we were talking about. DRX now going to be able to find a reset timer here, and will be able to get some vision down. The DK well and truly back out onto the map once again. The intensity is very high though. Oh, Barrel very close to finding it. The Abyssal Dive not going to connect. I say that, I feel like the confidence for Showmaker is quite high. He finishes the Magi's, he has 11 stacks.
Yep.
And so maybe Showmaker is not actually worried at all about the game state at this point in time. He's just kind of feeling himself. Up to 900 gold. He's like 7 losses in a row for Ari. I like those odds. None of us do, just to be clear.
He said those famous words. Ari's just do a win.
Yeah, well, I know the commentator that did say that first when HLE just managed to become the LCK champions, reigning LCK champions as of right now as well. As a face check does come on through, they get the control ward down, the hook does go wide, and there is the pillar as Lucid eats an exhaust and then just wanders his way out. Showmaker lurking on that flank angle. Will be able to clear out that ward as they make it as dark as they possibly can. Barrel gets over the wall, flashes, has to be used there. And now DK looking for a bit of an angle. The goalie wall comes in to try and hold them in position. It is going to be the Viego that's the target, but Rich, oh my goodness, he gets shredded. The Global comes through yet again to deny another reset as Barrel has that gray health to keep him healthy. And DRX, they will be able to back away. Oh my goodness, this game is so incredibly intense.
I thought DRX were about to lose to a Ghoulie wall. Honestly, the placement, Yehu got trapped by it, and I actually thought they were just gonna lose because they weren't killing it in time.
You only need to hit it like twice, right?
Three times with the levels.
Right, yes, it goes up in level.
I think it goes up to, is it 4 at max rank? I think it's 4 at max rank. I think at the rank it is now, it's 3.
If they all turn on it, though, it just disappears.
But no one was hitting it because everyone was dealing with different, like people were trying to hit Shiru, and Yehu was there just like, please help me, help me, help me, and then...
It is stressful, and it's a stressful time, and then the Ghoulie wall comes up, and it's comical, especially with this skin. Yeah. It's just lanky cats everywhere, and it's really hard to fathom. It's okay. Soul Point available for both teams. DRX getting on it. Vision going to be there as Showmaker looking for an angle. Andal doesn't find the anchor though. The Tongue Lash will connect. Charm just barely not going to work out there as Lucid wants to come in, but he's not going to be able to take this dragon as Chiu gonna get turned on the side. Showmaker looking to make his way over in the seismic shove goes wide. Sponge having to flash so early, and now the death machine of DK is moving forward and DRX are walking the wrong direction. Showmaker is looking for these resets. He's going to get them as Rich, he can't go all out of this game, unfortunately, unless it's via a loss, as Showmaker will go golden, and DRX, it looks like they're running for safety, but they're not on the red side anymore, as the double kill comes through for aiming. He will die to Teddy, but that's the ace for DK. What it means is probably a Baron. It took me a little while to work out what it actually is going to come of this, but with 3 alive, they should be able to take it.
I'm not sure if they're moving for it right now. I mean, it's long death times. We'll see how the fight went. So D+ have just said, we don't care about Chemtech Soul, we care about the fight. They go for this initial engage on Andal and blow him up. As Showmaker and Shu are moving on the flanks, DRX are kiting backwards. He was playing super aggressive. They trap Yehu, who eventually just manages to get away on super low HP. Rich goes in aggressive and gets deleted, and that's when the resets start to come in for aiming. Again, Beryl trying to deny resets from Sponge. Kind of messes up the dive, but Lucid Blast cones over in anyway. And Teddy goes for the hero play, and does manage to kill aiming. I kind of want to see what's happening in live, because if they didn't Baron, which they didn't, so him killing aiming...
Yeah, may have actually saved the Baron.
May have saved the Baron, because I think if aiming's alive, they head straight there and they clear it up in no time.
What did they actually get?
I think they just pushed in bot, which I think Shiwa just pushed in bot lane, and that was kind of it. So they didn't really get anything in terms of like objectives. It was just gold, some farm, and a little time to chill. Yeah.
I'm sure they're chilling as well. They
did get a lot of kills on aiming.
Yeah, they also lost a few stacks on the Magi's as well, as Showmaker did die, so down to 7. And also has a broken arm guard, so not going to be able to use that in the next fight as well. No Zhonya's has been completed just yet. There's a reset angle here for DRX. And they will be able to go back now. Shu with the Maiden is now chilling in this side lane. Does he have his Black Cleaver now completed? because that will make side laning into him as Rich a little bit more difficult, and there it is. It is actually done. So DRX well and truly feeling on the back foot right now, but they do have vision around this Baron that does need to be swept away. Beryl is going to be able to find that cheeky little ward in the entrance. As Pillar just being frustrating here. Lucid just showing all of his trophies.
Okay, I picked up for Teddy as a pretty big spike. Both AD carries on 4 items, and it really is so centered around them.
Yep. Beryl needs to be glued to aiming. He needs to stop using ult on cooldown on Lucid.
No. You don't understand. Aiming's fine, right? It's all about stopping the resets, right? That's.
I mean, yeah, that is a good point.
Also, it's really funny when Lucid, Lucid's this big troll.
He's like trying to go in and then just gets eaten over a wall.
Yes.
Oh, it is prime comedy. It may not necessarily be good for winning the series, but winning the hearts of everyone watching.
Again, I think you just need to redirect your prime focus. If your prime focus is having fun, Beryl is always winning.
And honestly, it's a game in the end, isn't it? And so what are we here for? We're here to have fun.
Beryl is always winning the game. We just don't know what the game is.
Oh my god, I've never heard a definition of Beryl so perfectly done. As Sponge able to dash over the pillar. It's a charm! It catches Yahoo! And he's just probably dead! Blasco, never mind, it's a Mega Cone. And Super Mega Death Rocket is not going to land either. Yahoo barely gets away.
He does have TP, so he will be able to get back for this. They have to rush in, though.
Yeah, Vision is going to be there, but this is going down very, very quickly. King's Tribute's going to make sure that Lucid is going to be very healthy by the end as well, as now they need to watch out for Sponge. Lucid, he's going down very low. As these ricochets are so scary. Lucid, you cannot just die. He flashes out of the pit, but the resets start to come in for aiming. As Andal is just dead. Sponge, he does steal away the Baron, but is it a Baron for Nexus? That's going to be the question as Rich goes in, then goes out, then he's dead. Aiming locks up the kill. And DK, they haven't taken down the carries, but the carries have no front line. They should be able to wipe out the base.
It's going to be tricky because there is a lot of wave clear, but there's 5 members strong.
Teddy's
it's definitely
no.
D plus favored. It's definitely D plus favored. Teddy has sums, Yahoo has sums. They have to try and clear the wave with the ricochets. It's D plus favored, but we'll see what they can do.
Well, Lucid is just going to run behind this turret to get this pillar down. Yahoo is going to go down so low. He finally gets chomped by Lucid, who gets himself in there. Beryl was tanking up the turret.
Teddy?
Yep, Teddy, these boomerangs are really hurting. And DK, they'll eat some honey fruit and they'll get themselves out. This turret gets angry at Shio, and the inner turret is still alive, guys. As another ghoulie wall. My goodness, these boomerang blades. As Teddy also had an extra BF sword off the back of that one. So yeah, they'll take down an inhibitor. Winning the game was optimistic. They might lose Chemtech Soul for this though, as Sponge is up and available. They're going to see all of DK.
Sponge, it's reset central with the HPs at this level.
Yeah.
See Aiming trying to heal up off the blue buff.
Lucid going to get a bit of health back for that one as well. Spirit Visage, of course, going to be a big deal on that one, as they do have vision. Lucid not wanting to give this one up, as he's just standing in amongst 4 people, and he's just dead, but what the heck was that? Was it even worth it? I have absolutely no idea, but it was so cool.
Showmaker slides in and gets the dragon. Lucid was just a bait, and this game, what is going on?
I don't know if it's good. That's the problem, because now they lose Lucid.
And it is a Baron push.
It is a Baron push. There's one left. Teddy does have one.
Okay, they're definitely taking this tower. Can they push further into the base? Looks like they won't go for it. Again, it's a short-range composition into a Jinx, who has that Runan's lot of wave clear.
Oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. Okay, so
this is
as everything settles,
this is so cold.
It's still a 4,000 gold lead.
They double trap Yahoo with the terrain and then sneak up on him and chomp, but then Teddy just shreds.
They just bypass Teddy to make sure that they kill Yahoo, and Teddy does like 3 whole health bars of damage. As Showmaker, look at this. Okay, sees this health bar going down low. He's like, I'll take that. Yoink. Yep. He was just saying, I ate it, I got it. Just get out of there.
Man, what a crazy play. And yeah, I think as well, if Sponge hadn't secured the Baron, that push to end is so different. They just push and use the minions to So many individual plays just really defining this game.
Sponge also still very, very scary.
And you know, DRX, this series, win or lose, fate deciding whether they make it into play-ins or not. Everything on the line.
And there could still be some shenanigans, but they lose so much agency.
Yeah.
If they do
a
lose
win
this,
here
it's
would
Teddy.
mean so much for them.
52,000 damage in this game. And it is an 11 kills Jinx on the other side. Aiming, really doing work as far as getting back to being the Gold King again.
Those ricochets are so scary. Earlier on the Baron, Teddy was autoing a control ward, and then it bounced from the control ward to the Baron to Lucid.
Yeah, and he almost just died. He had to flash.
He's doing so much damage now. It looks like he's back in for a final item. Yeah, he picked up a BT. So he can kind of just sustain through damage and shred, but he doesn't have the GA that Aiming has. It's obviously a lot of safety against the burst, resets, but if he stands his ground, that shield goes a long way. We do see turret taken down there by D+.
Yeah, this is the problem, is that the range advantage from Aiming in these siege scenarios when there even isn't a Baron, it is still going to be helpful. So 5,000 gold is the lead here for DK. I want to reiterate, that doesn't mean anything. It's close to 40 minutes in this game. And this is obviously one that DRX could still make work. It's whoever starts the reset train. And double Randuins, both finished, one after the other here by Shio and Lucid.
Honestly, Randuins does so much to cut down the damage of an AD carry full build like this. The crit damage reduction really goes a long way.
Yep.
I feel like it's you know, when you're playing against an AD carry at this stage of the game, like armor, because you have that armor shred with the LDR, it just doesn't feel like it offers as much. But really the Randuins, a 30% reduction on crit strikes when it is 100% crit carry, will help just add a good amount of durability. And that's the thing, is like, you're never going to survive forever with Teddy hitting you, but a second or two can make such a big difference in these fights.
Well, Lucid really wants to be able to take down Sponge here, but he does manage to slink off into the mist.
You have
himself alive.
Rabadon,
40 seconds until the Baron.
Rabadon's just picked up there from Yehu, so big spike for him as well.
Yep, no Void Staffs done yet from either of these mid laners, but it's on the way here for Showmaker as item number 6. Okay, Lucid still just denying entry, right? This is what it's about. Let's make it as dark as possible to get towards this Baron. As Andal, he's the one that has to face check, and we know that he's not that durable. As 7 examples of that already in this game. 6 examples of Beryl also not necessarily being able to face check very comfortably, as Aiming almost just takes his whole health bar and damage. What the heck was that? The Gobble does have to come through as Aiming back over the wall as he flashes over the other wall. Beryl will finally go down as Lucid gets the subjugate off into this backline, but it's Shiu taking down inhibitors in the top lane, and DK just trying to keep them interested. There's the Abyssal dive over from Sponge, and Shiu,
Is Beryl enough? Taking Beryl down. Getting the summoners from Aiming is huge, but is taking down Beryl enough to give you confidence to start the Baron? They're trying to move in, but it's still so scary.
Yeah, Lucid looking for a pillar angle as they do get the charm onto Andal. Moves himself out of the way. The seismic shove is going to miss, but Andal gets himself out of this one. Teddy is so scary. The ricochets do come on through as there's the redemption for a bit of a heal. 10 seconds on Beryl.
Teddy.
Yep, DRX are just corralling them. That boomerang blade could have been so scary. Shiu also gonna have to flash the ghoulie wall. Can it help? Seismic shove, not enough. Mega Death Rocket connects onto Rich as they will be able to get the crab. And we've also got a full wave of minions pushing in on the bottom side of the map as well. As DRX are just getting pulled around their base. Teddy, Spell Shield now on cooldown just for a moment. Morning Mist going to come on through there as the Maiden. It's going to be another prize here for DRX. Teleport to bring Andal in, looking for a bit of an angle, but the ghoulie wall again. Oh, Sponge, he's going to get taken down by Aiming. That's one of the resets now removed. And DRX now having to deal with their jungler being dead.
That's going to be Soul, and you likely just go straight to Baron afterwards. An overstep from Sponge. He thinks he's found Showmaker.
Oh,
a moment
no.
to remember, Showmaker had Zhonya's as well. So definitely a miscalculation. Go
An absolute heartbreaker for the young jungler here. Chemtech Soul for DK is what they're going to pick up first. But it's 30 seconds until Sponge is there. He had that hero steal before. and he's not going to be alive to see the next Baron go down as DK.
I think you could sense the frustration that D+ were just walking away.
Yeah.
The audacity they can just walk out of that play on low health. You're playing Viego. You're like, surely we kill them. Surely we get these resets.
And you know what the biggest mistake was? Killing Beryl.
Always. But it was the fact that he went specifically for Showmaker, who had Flash, had Zhonya's as well in pocket if he needed it. And aiming was there to turn it around. You know, just it's one of these moments where you think you see the game-winning play.
Yeah.
And it's a moment too far. Now D+, sizable gold lead. Gold's starting to mean less and less at this point when everyone's approaching full build. But they get a soul in pocket.
Yeah. Soul and Baron, they're what means the most.
Yeah. And especially this long-range comp, you know, Teddy has a ton of wave clear, but it can be a little awkward. And also, Shiwu is starting to be a menace in the side lanes, just pushing up and causing problems.
Yeah, and the utility that Lucid and Beryl will have later on in the game when it is just aiming, able to three-shot anyone on the other side of the map. The pillar is so incredibly valuable, and the gobble is extraordinarily strong. And only one inhibitor turret is left standing as well, as DRX still dealing with super minions, conga lining down the top lane, and DK playing this one very slow. A big difference, I feel, in this series and this game especially, is the DK certainly have been respecting their opposition a whole lot more than they have earlier on in the season, or especially last week. And not pushing their advantage too much here in this one. Especially not in this moment. This is confirmation of first place in the group if they are able to win here. And DK wanting to confirm that as soon as possible because things in the Rise group have been somewhat up in the air.
Just a little bit.
Needed to make sure that that sounded like the understatement of the century, and I think I got the tone. As Showmaker lurking on the side, the ward is going to spot him out as Shiu also going for a bit of a split push, but now going to get caught out. Heartbreaker comes forward. Shiu trying to get back to the rest of his team, but he is just going to get taken down. No one going to be there to answer it. And now DK, their push, going to be a whole lot more difficult. So this Baron, I don't think is going to work. The Rebel Baron power play sitting at 66 gold. Well, Super Mega Death Rocket gets the flash.
At least it's positive, right? So that's something. Oh, wait, plus 7 gold?
Minus 21.
Wait, Teddy's throwing a wave?
Yep, so it's going to be even more.
Minus 250. Wow.
So,
360. Oh, it's in the bin. It's in the bin.
Basically, we're going to get confirmation that it's how we were all expecting this one to go. And that is the Elder Flip.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, I think credit to DRX for pulling the trigger and punishing Shiu, but it kind of shows how, even with the range, even with that advantage that aiming had, still so scary to step up, and still Teddy the wave clear from this Sivir just causing problems for them.
Yep. Aiming has also just sold his Runons, which I think is a great idea.
For the rapid fight, wanting to play around that extra range. Yep. I feel like in a lot of these fights, there's not that many opportunities to AoE and hit multiple people.
Yeah, because you have to be pretty close. The range on Runons is not great.
This is also one of these times where, you know, the feature strength boots feel really nice, the fact that you have them, because everyone has them now.
Yeah, you have something to spend your money on.
Yeah, or I've already spent it on. But it is very, very late in the game. I mean, I guess on the other side, DRX did have the Arakan to kind of balance that out. There's the extra adaptive force to 41 petals, which is a good amount. So contributing a decent amount there.
This is going to be so cool because I think we might be able to throw directly to the pre-show of the Saturday Showdown.
Yeah.
I think that might be what we can do.
Italy Gen G.
Oh my
We just get bangers after bangers.
It's going to be incredible. Maybe not as cultured as what we're seeing here in this.
I'm hoping for a cultured matchup there. Last time it went 3 games, you know.
That's true.
Can we build up a bit of a 3-game streak? We've had too many 2-0s. It's a little bit cringe, if you ask me.
Yeah, the Legend group really needs to step it up as far as their 3 games are concerned, and T1 doing their bit.
Yeah.
Losing 1 to Nongshim today. There's also HLE doing their bit, losing 1 to KT.
Yep. And in it was a very T1 fashion in which they lost it.
Yes.
And here we're getting a very D+ experience.
It's a minute until stuff's going to happen. Okay, guys? We promise things will happen.
Oh, you know what would be okay, I don't think it'll happen, but there is the timeline where one team takes Elder, one team takes Baron, and then they just ping pong waves at each other until they wear off. But I don't think that'll happen. But I've seen that before, you know?
I mean, ultimately, Teddy was the guy that they designed Elder for, right?
Yeah.
That was a fantastic palm comment from Prince.
He's now sold boots.
Yeah. He also has, like, basically 0 movement speed in the build at all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This.
So he's a very slow Sivir.
See, I have mixed feelings about this because I think movement speed's so valuable, and he's like glacial. I know you get free movement speed on Sivir when you hit things, but you're not always able to hit things. And obviously ult provides it, but
Yeah, sidestepping things is going to be quite difficult,
when he gets
especially
pillared,
when the pillar
it's basically it's a root.
You do press R and get a lot of movement speed, so I guess there's that. A Showmaker looking for a flank angle. He was spotted on vision as DK starting to lurk forward as Rich fighting the Maiden as the wall does come down, but aiming not going to be too perturbed from that one, so that is just an ult on cooldown. Yeah, not quite finding an angle, not throwing the game. Right?
He did actually use Ghost there, and he committed the ults in return. It is a pretty short cooldown at this point. You can see it taken away quickly, but not available right now this second. Both the buffs are live now, so any second we expect the fight.
Look, he's going to connect there onto Lucid. The immediate gobble does come on through as Andal down very, very low. Sponge flashing to get himself out of the way as aiming lands the zap. The slow lasting forever is what it feels like, but Showmaker has also started that cooldown on the ulti. Wanted to get through a bit of this essence, but it looks like DRX are just going to back away. Xiu doing exactly what he wants to do, and that is push a side lane.
Wait, are we getting the trade? Are we getting the trade?
No, we are going to get the trade.
We're getting the trade.
It's the gentleman's agreement.
Oh,
okay, well, now we're going to learn whether or not the Elder or the Baron are better. In a fight, the Elder's better. In a push, the Baron's better.
What I will say is because DRX's base is already kind of in shambles, they've already lost 2 inhibitor towers, it may be hard to defend against the Elder, even if you have the Baron. But it's very funny that we have the gentleman's agreement.
And I love that you also said, by the way, what if this happened?
Yeah.
And guess what? It did. We got purple versus the kind of green, but it's just white, isn't it? It's just a white little border. It looks a bit green because there's always grass behind it.
It would be pretty great if this game just went on forever, you know?
I know. I mean, that's what we were set up for, and I think that it would just be so beautiful if that happened. The one thing I know is that they will keep the stat of the longest games in the league. As the wall is going to come down, it blocks some of the minions, but not too many of them. The Baron not looking too useful right now as Teddy gets exhausted. The rockets are going to fly through as Showmaker looks for an angle, does go golden. There is a bit of a flick back as Teddy now is so low and Barrel gets a massive knock up. The one man not afraid to start this fight, and he trades his life for the Fountain Laser. And DK still pushing forward. They have so much damage. These turrets just melt as Rich tries to get himself out, but the Dragon's Wrath, it is swift and merciless. And DK, after the biggest test that they've had so far in this culture-driven Rise group, will finally topple DRX and confirm first place.
What a battle! What a threat! What a gauntlet! What an experience that we, the teams, the players, the fans, that everyone has gone through today. It has been an experience, and D+ come out on top. And
I want to thank my mom. I want to thank my dad. I want to thank you, Ox, for being here with me.
Yeah,
for experiencing this beautiful series with no misplays at all on either side, and the fact that you get to just so confidently tick that support box without, like, ignore the knife. It's not real, I promise. Tick that, yeah, there it is, perfect.
You know, I think this sense of fulfillment and completion, this is what it must feel like to go through Bart's magical journey.
It must be.
This was a magical journey. That's the only way we can describe what transgressed today.
Look at Showmaker, just not enthusiastic about the win at all, as you would expect.
I think, you know, I said it before the series, we're going to have fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if the teams are going to have fun.
Oh, no.
But we had fun, and that's what's important. And D+, they got that win in the end. DRX, there is still hope for them. It is a big blow with how close they were to winning this series. This could have been a big difference maker for them. There is still hope for them to make it into the play-ins, but definitely a difficult blow to deal with.
It is. And the Bros, if, you know, they could also drop a series. I think they weren't coming up against DNF. Honestly, I mean, they've done that one before. Could be a chance the DNF do save DRX here, as we're going to check out some of the highlights. Hopefully we go through all of them, so that it will be Wednesday next week when we do finally throw over to this space.
Man, this was just... so much happened. There was just...
It really did.
You know, we had like all the barrel gobbling people who were aiming. Like,
and by people, we mean Lucid.
Yeah, and then like Teddy trying to do 1 million damage in the fights and getting jumped on.
And he did do 1 million damage in the fights.
He literally did 1 million damage in the fights. Bit of a heartbreaker for him. Sponge with the Baron steal. I feel like I just binged watch a show that was like 7 seasons long and it has 28 episodes per season.
Yeah, and no, do you know what it feels like? It feels like you watched a Lord of the Rings marathon and you're like, this was extraordinary.
And it was extended edition as well.
Yeah, but I missed 7 birthdays, you know? Like, that's what it kind of feels like. As Beryl does deny the depth charge. This was like psychopathic from aiming in this moment as well. But somehow they only got Beryl out of it, and this from Sponge,
You know, Beryl,
that was the moment.
Beryl really does give a lot of Merry and Pippin energy. You know?
Yeah, he certainly does.
He's into shenanigans.
I'm sure he'd love 11sies, wouldn't he?
Oh, he certainly would.
He really would. What about second breakfast? Oh, that's Lucid as well, don't worry.
Well, he just jumps in and he gets the knock up front of the Sivir. It's psychopathic, but it works. So how can I fault it?
Well, this is the thing, because actually in this moment, you have decision paralysis. Because this game means so much to both of these teams, and it's so incredibly late. And you know that whoever makes the mistake loses the game. And Beryl says, it ain't a mistake. And he just goes in and dies.
Beryl's like, I've won 2 world championships. This ain't nothing.
Yeah.
W's in.
I didn't win these 2 world championships by being a coward, okay?
Goes in, dies immediately, but he gets the knock up. Job done. Puts his body on the line.
74,000 damage for Teddy.
Oh, heartbreaker. He's the human Nexus, but the Nexus died, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness. Hats off to him. I mean, Teddy on the Sivir. It does bring back those 94-minute memories.
This game?
Yeah, I mean,
like
we got, you know.
We're approaching on it.
Do you know what's insane?
It was closer to 94 minutes than it was to 0.
The 94-minute game, this was only half of that. As Showmaker is going to get it somehow. He did steal that dragon.
He stole the dragon. The Cassiopeia game was pretty solid, you know. I don't think it's a bad vote.
I think it's a terrible vote. How did Beryl not get it?
I want to see what the POM vote spread is like. I'm hoping it's just like scattered mess.
I hope it's a mistake. That's what I hope, because there is no way. After like epitomizing Bard performance, and then whatever that was on the Tom Kench.
Max, that Bard game happened what feels like years ago. People don't remember it anymore. Are we sure that happened today?
Yeah, maybe actually the main driving force was making sure Showmaker had to do the interview. Which will be the most interesting part.
That's sick. I hope no one did it for that reason. That's messed up.
Well, honestly, I wouldn't question it today. Today we've been on one heck of a journey, but it's been an absolutely beautiful one. And now it's time for that to end and the interview to start.
Thank you so much, guys. This is Steer for the POM interview translation, joined by Showmaker on the side of D plus Kia. King of Rise, just like your nickname. You locked in first place. How do you feel? Wow, today, the match was just so difficult. And I feel like I'm just so drained. But I'm glad. Yeah, it was actually a battle between teams with the longest average game time, and we went to a close series. So why do you think you end up playing longer games? You know, is it because 6 game days or Subin days? Well, longer game times, it could be seen as a good thing, but I feel like there's also something that can be seen as a bad thing too. Because it means that you are not able to close out a game. I think we were just we definitely do have some room for improvement in that sense. And in game 2, your Cassiopeia made an appearance after a while, and you've only played her in the LCK once before today. So what made you pick her? You know, Cassio, I don't really play her on stage, that's true. But I do believe that I'm pretty good and decent at playing Cassio, and I've always wanted to, you know, I've been meaning to play her on stage for a while, so I think today was the right day. Yeah, she seems viable as a counter to Rise, so how was the matchup? To be honest, I feel like from Rise's perspective, it's pretty doable, and same goes for Cassio, so I think it's pretty much a skills matchup. And in game 3, Yorick got targeted and Shu must have had a rough time, so what were the comms like from top? Yeah, he was getting focused down really hard. And Shu, he was definitely having a difficult time, but he held on just fine for us to be able to win in the end. And I'm sure everyone enjoyed watching game 3. And with so much back and forth, what was the game plan to break through? I think we just tried our best with whatever was given to us. And the enemy had Sivir, and I think the only range champion that we had was Jinx, and we had so many mistakes, and it just ended up becoming such a long game. So when were you certain of victory? Honestly, at the very end, when Beryl was shouting out Sivir, Sivir, Sivir after he was using exhaust, that's the moment that we actually felt like we were winning. And you guys got a buff IRL today. Someone came to site to cheer for D plus Kia, and it's Nagori, your former teammate. He's wearing your jersey today. Any message to Guriping? Guriping, you look so good in your jersey. And Nagori, I'm just so happy to see you after a long time, and I'm really happy that we're able to win today. And as the king of Rise, you'll have to touch up on your form until the play-ins. So, what do you want to improve on? Lately, we haven't been performing very well. But now that we have secured first place, I think we just have to make sure that we play well in the rest of the matches. Congratulations again, and that's the end of the interview with Showmaker of D plus Kia, and back to the space. Thank you.